Welcome to All Gen Gamers, a podcast for people in video games of all generations. Starring Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, and Jason Heine.
Alright guys, and welcome back to another episode of All Gen Gamers. This is episode 43, and tonight I am joined by my usual lovely co-hosts, Jason, the EMU Review Heine. What's up, Jason?
What is up?
As well as John, Gamester81. What's going on, John?
What's crack-a-lackling?
And Johnny, the Happy Console Gamer Millennium. What's going on, Johnny?
Hi, Pete. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
I love that he says lovely co-hosts. I love that. Nice.
And today we are joined by guest Barry Evans, also known as Yesterday's 92. And Barry has Barry has my absolute favorite video game collection that I have ever seen. I am immensely jealous and just envious every time I check out his video and his channel and his collection. Barry, it's very nice to have you on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that.
So, how I originally discovered Barry and his video game collection was someone actually a long time ago sent me a link to your video. Now, Barry, did you delete two older videos?
Yes, I did, honestly, because they got copyright claims against them on YouTube. It had Pac-Man Fever in the background from the original record, and they pulled a claim on it, and they muted the music, so it was pointless without any sound, so I got mad and deleted them.
Of course, yeah.
Well, thank God I got to see them before that, because the music really added to it. But originally someone sent me the link to your channel, and I checked out your channel. It was probably 2 years ago. And then one day I just rediscovered the videos, and I'm like, oh, I forgot all about this. And I'm like, at the time I was on Skype with Jason, and I'm like, Jason, you have to see this. So we get all ready. I'm like, okay, I give him the link to the video, and we do it this way where it's like, okay, you do the countdown and then you press play on the video at the same time and you watch it together. So we did that, and the whole time we're like, oh my God, look at this, look at that. And then the next day I got John and Johnny on, and we're like, you guys, you have to watch this.
Yeah, I remember that, actually, watching that. And we were all in total awe. We're like, wow, look at the carpet, look at the decorations, the amount of stuff that you had in that room. So
I do have there is a newer video I placed up about 6 or 8 months ago. So there is another video on YouTube. It's like the third on my list, and I want to make another updated version because I've kind of rotated things around a little bit. Yeah,
because with your old one, it was 2 parts, and you did a really thorough walk around. You should do another thorough one.
Right, I'll do another. See, that one was one of my first YouTube videos, and I did it, and I didn't know how to encode video yet, and it was in Windows Media Player format. It was the video quality was terrible. I want to do another one in HD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Now, when you render your videos out, do you have like Sony Vegas or anything?
I've been using what do they call it, Studio Ultimate, but I just got Adobe Premiere Pro Collection, and I'm going to try and do it with that, and you have a lot better version.
Yeah, anything that renders in HD will definitely look better than Movie Maker. But it was funny because we were watching the video, and it's like, it was kind of a game where like counting how many World and Nintendo signs you have, and how many of this and how many of that.
I get emails all the time, people begging if they can buy 1 or 2 of them, because that's the way I collected over the years. I just don't have one. I have almost 8 or 10 of each item. Like those World and Nintendo signs, the little rectangular ones, I got 10 of those, and the globe-shaped ones, I have 5 of those.
Holy shit.
Now, Barry, is that because you feel like preserving these items, or is it like what makes you want to have multiples of these?
Well, what happened is, I'll kind of go into the story, because this figure is going to lead up to this. When I started collecting, and I know y'all can tell the way things have changed, malls are starting to go out of business, and there's no more video game departments anymore. But back in the 90s, early 90s especially, I would go to Sears, and they had a big video game department called Funtronics, and every time Nintendo had a new game out, they had tons of beautiful signs, posters, and displays. And I would go in there and literally, I would pester them to death until they'd give me one of those posters or those signs. Because the problem with that stuff is the managers have these unwritten rules that they have to throw it away and destroy the stuff. And I just saw that as lunacy. So if one store said no, well, in the Houston area, there's dozens of malls and dozens of Sears stores. So if one said no, there was a better chance of going to another mall and getting a yes. And it turned out to work out for me very well many times over. So that's how I was able to get all these duplicates.
They would just give them to you, or would they just give them to you? Wow.
They just get, I mean, that's what most people can't believe is most of the best stuff I have in that game room I didn't pay a nickel for. Like those Sonic and
something like that, because I collect Sonic myself, and I saw all the Sonic stuff. Believe me, and I was like, wow, look at that! I didn't know that existed and all that stuff. And I'm like, there's no way, because if you were to buy that stuff on eBay, first of all, some of the stuff I've seen in your room, I've never seen on eBay, and I scour eBay for Sonic stuff quite often. So I'm like, he had to have gotten this stuff not on eBay or from GameStore. You had to have gotten like your Sonic and Tails statue. Did you get that on eBay, or was that on? How'd you get that?
Oh, here's the catch. Okay, here's the thing. eBay is a good and an evil. 90% of my collection I got before eBay came along. eBay destroyed the way I was able to collect, because when I went out and found this stuff, nobody cared about it. But when eBay came along, everybody started snatching the stuff up and selling it on eBay. Yeah. The Sonic and Tails statues, that's a little story in that one. What happened was those statues were made for Toys R Us flagship stores, and there was usually only one in every couple of major cities. And Clear Lake here near Houston had one, and so did Dallas. Those are the only ones in Texas that I know of. And in 1994 or 1995, our Toys R Us got those statues, and when I went in there, I froze. I said, I want these, and how in the world am I going to get them? I have to figure out a way to get them. They were up high on top of a display case. I went and flagged down the manager, and I said, where did you get these and how much they cost? And this, like I said, this was 94 or 95, and he said they came from Sega, and they cost at that time $2,500 a piece.
Holy!
And of course, that was for the stores. So I said, here, take my name and address, and if for some reason you ever decide to let them go, I want you to let me know. And every 6 months, I kept going back there. They got tired of seeing me. They said, oh God, here he comes again. And finally, after a long time, like in, I'd say April or May of 2001, I got a call from that manager who knew me, and he actually liked me. And he said, we are doing a remodel. If you want those statues, come and get them right now before they get thrown out.
Oh, you're talking about 6 or 7 years later?
Yes. And I got down there, and they had them in this big cargo container and behind the store. They took them out of the store and stored them, and thank goodness they didn't get damaged or broken. But needless to say, before someone could change their mind, I got over there with my truck and my moving blankets. I carefully got them out of that storage container, got them in the truck, and got out of there before coming out. Someone came out renting and say, no, we changed our mind. I was out of there. And needless to say, I got them.
Wow.
Free.
And absolutely free.
Wow.
I was just about to say, you do know that Pete has masturbated to your Sonic collection every night. That's the funny thing. When I first saw that, I'm like, this is like a Pete Dorr orgasm in a room.
Yeah. He just his pants just thinking about it.
I know. Gosh. Someone left a comment like that on the YouTube comments.
That was Pete.
Oh, it was?
That was Pete.
Was it? I don't think so.
In reference to that video, I jizzed in my pants.
Yeah.
For the listeners that are listening, though, I just want to say real quick, because they're probably hearing us talk all about these items. If you want to see the video that we're talking about, just go to youtube.com/yesterdays92, and it's the third video from the top.
It's actually probably a good idea, because, I mean, for us to sit here and talk about it, but a lot of our viewers or a lot of our listeners are either at work or they're in the car, they're driving. I know we have a lot of listeners that do that, but if you got to see this video, pause the podcast right now and go watch it and then come back. It is incredible. You've got to see this room.
Better than you would imagine. It's incredible, which we're going to get into, Barry, how you decided to go ahead and you basically built an entire room outside of your home for this, right?
Yes. What we did was, when me and my wife decided, we were planning on building a house for years, and the hardest part was trying to figure out how to do the game room. And we decided to do it as part of the mortgage. And so while the house was going up, the game room was going up as well. And this is a good thing for anybody that's planning on doing this. Listen up, this is a very good idea. To build a traditional building out of wood studs and a asphalt shingles roof is super expensive. This game room is made it's a metal building. From the outside, it looks like a shop or garage. I was able to build it at half the cost, but it's just as durable. It survived Hurricane Ike here. we got nearly 90-mile-an-hour winds. We're pretty far in from the coast. We didn't sustain as much damage around here, but the game room didn't get a scratch on it. And so you can build it for half the cost. I can tell you it cost the building alone without wiring or air conditioning or the carpet was $24,000. So I mean, of course, you have to add another $5,000 to $6,000 for AC, a couple of grand for wiring. The carpet was about $4,000.
I love the carpet.
Carpet. Yeah, that's a carpet is a discussion into itself. I know, absolutely. But how many square feet is that?
It is 30 by 40. That equals 1,200 square feet.
That's amazing. That's nice. That's amazing. That's really nice for a games room. Just for a games room? Some entire families live in a space like that.
Yes, you know my wife hears comments about that from coworkers. Your husband's game room is larger than my house.
That's awesome. So we have to really go back to the beginning about what started your whole obsession and what led up to the games room, because this is a great story. I've been wanting to hear this the whole time.
Oh, well, you have to tell me when to shut up so you can break in. Otherwise, I can go on and on.
I will not tell you to shut up. I want to hear all of this. Absolutely.
All right, I can tell you exactly when it started. I'll start it with actually my first video game I collected was in 1991, and it was Dragon's Lair. What got me started on wanting to collect the game, the memorabilia, is it's Sonic the Hedgehog. I loved that game from the start when I got my Genesis. And one day, me and my buddy was out. You know, it was a summer day. We were out going to the store, and when we were at the drugstore, we just saw the candy rack, and it just caught my eye that there was a little Sonic the Hedgehog on the counter. I said, "What is that?" And I grabbed it. It was a little Sonic the Hedgehog bubblegum container.
Yes. Hold on a second. That was the first Sonic item I ever got. Are you talking about the one with the finger that's pointing up?
Yes, and you pull the back of his head off, and that's where that cheap, nasty candy is.
I think it's love. It's love at first sight, guys. Here we go. We got magic nubs.
That is exactly right. I brought it home and I put it on my Genesis, right there, well, actually next to it. And I started, that's cool. And then not too much later, I saw another Sonic item. It was like a little stuffed Sonic, because Sonic really took off. I mean, the popularity of it just went off like crazy. So I started seeing more items, and I decorated my room at home. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The main reason why it was so easy to collect video games and more stuff is because I lived with my parents for a long time. So I'm not going to lie about that. Ultra geekdom, yes, I did. So I just kept collecting this stuff. And then before I knew it, I had my bedroom overstuffed with Sonic stuff. And that's when I started going to the stores, and I'd say, "Hey, can I have your Sonic the Hedgehog 2 poster when you're finished with it?" And some people would say yes, and some people would say no. But that was the benefit of back in the 90s, that everybody promoted the games very well. Unlike today, if anything comes out, there's maybe one little countertop poster at GameStop, and that's it. There's no more stuff. So from then on, on my days off, it became a regular ritual. I would get up in the morning. I would literally fill my tank and go to all the malls and start asking for video game signs, posters, and displays, and some people would actually just let me go out of the store with a Nintendo sign, those illuminated ones. Wow. I'd talk them out of it.
The same ones that go for around $800 to $1,000 now.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, so at this point, this is started, like, let's be honest here. This started becoming a bit of an obsession. Like, you were getting up in the morning and just going to the malls all day to get video game played stuff. That's amazing.
It's some of my most favorite memories. I mean, even at Walmart, you go to the Walmart video game department, and it have those. When you see in the game room, when you looked up, you saw all the rolled up the banner type posters.
Yeah.
Every Walmart had those. So as many of them as I have in the game room, I have about 25 more still in poster tubes in the attic. I don't have room for it.
He'll buy it off you. He'll buy it all. He'll buy all your doubles.
I have no room for posters either.
Give him all your sloppy seconds.
So that's what I did. It was a lot of fun. Some of my most favorite memories. I mean, this may sound terrible, but in the summer of '97, I decided to drive out to Nevada. I wanted to see Area 51, and I stopped into this Kmart in downtown Las Vegas. The store was all tore up and they were remodeling. They had this square PlayStation sign just sitting on the floor, and it looked like they were just going to throw it away. I just picked it up and walked out with it.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Love it. I love it.
I know that sounds like terrible and stealing, but I actually got into an argument one time with a manager at a Sears store, because the problem is with this stuff is They would rather throw it away than give it away. This will blow your mind, but they had a complete Sega Dreamcast kiosk and video game storage cabinet. They were getting ready to take it to the dumpster and throw it away. And I asked them, could you please let me have it? And the manager said no. So I actually got mad and went home and called Sears Corporate and explained to them what the situation was. The corporate office from Illinois called down to the store in Baytown and said, could you let this gentleman have this? There's no reason to throw it away. When I went to go pick it up, the manager got so mad that I went over the head. They sent it to the dumpster and destroyed it anyway.
Whoa. That is an unbelievable story.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Dude.
It still had the built-in Dreamcast and a monitor and glass doors and everything. And
Bastards. Fucking bastards.
Seriously,
Brutal.
that's
Karma, karma's a bitch, dude, Wow.
So, but persistence is the key. Like I said, if one person did that, I would just keep going. That's how I built the collection up, is I would never give up.
And Barry, I think it sounds like, you can't take no personal, so people tell you no. It sounds like you got denied a number of times and you can't take it personal. You kind of roll with the punches and move on, right?
Oh, sure. That's like I said, if one Sears said no, there's only one Sears in this area. There's dozens of them. But it was just infuriating that they destroyed something so nice.
Yeah.
What is the greatest item that you've ever found for free?
It would have to be the Sonic and Tails statues.
Yeah.
Nothing could beat those. But it's the besides those statues, it's the signs. I mean, you've seen them, the ones that say "World of Nintendo" that glow.
Yeah.
Even in there was this old Walmart that they were fixing to change out their electronics department, and they had this nice sign that says Game Boy's Top Hits, and it held empty cartridges. I was happy to get that too.
Wow.
Yeah, one of those just sold on eBay recently. I think it went for like $500 or $600. I think quite a bit.
Was it the one that said Game Boy Color Hits?
Yes, actually, yeah, that was just on eBay.
I sold that.
Oh, really? How much did you sell it for again?
It sold for how much did someone sell for? I forget. It sold for like $250 to $300. And here's the truth: the reason why I sold it is because I've been trying to fit more things into the game room, but I have enough stuff to fill a room double that size. I was going to let one or two extra things go because I wanted to buy a new laptop, an expensive one. So I needed to come up with a little extra cash. And I thought, you know what, this is an extra and I could let it go without crying too much. So yeah, I do have several extras of those and a lot of that. That's like I said, I just kept collecting duplicates.
Well, it sounds like we need to come out over there and get a flight down there. Just come check it out for a while. Just sleep in there, hang out. Pete, you can go off and just cuddle with the Sonic plushies. I'll be over at the Killer Instinct stand-up, and you have a Super Nintendo kiosk that has Killer Instinct in there I've seen. I'm a big KI fan, so I kind of started drooling.
You want to hear the backstory on that Nintendo's display with the Killer Instinct in it?
I would love to.
Here's where some of my collection came from too. Before eBay, and when I first got on America Online back in '96.
Oh God!
They had those. Yeah, remember those?
No, we were talking about the other podcast, the chat rooms, and
yes, and people always scrolling up dirty pictures. It was so stupid.
Jason.
I don't know anything about it.
I would always post ads for free on those AOL bulletin boards, and one guy wrote me, said, I have a brand new Super Nintendo display kiosk. If you'd want it, just send me $200. And of course, I said, sure, I'd love to. I will send you a money order. By the way, how did you get it? He said, I worked at Toys R Us, and there was a fire, and let's just say they didn't know that it was there.
Oh, fishy. It's pretty shady.
Very, very. Yeah, he stole that thing.
Yeah, obviously, but he let me have it, and
and $200. So that was this was mid '90s. Then that was still quite a bit of money.
Yeah, it was '96. I mean, actually, I got that in the summer of '98.
Oh, okay, a little bit later.
What's that worth now? Do you think, Barry? If you were to turn around and sell that right now, what would be a good asking price?
Heck, I mean, honestly, I don't know, but because I'll tell you this. Here's what shocked me. I was going through some of my collection I had in the attic. I brought it down, and I had a handful of little itty-bitty countertop displays. I had about 7 12-inch tall Donkey Kong Country 2 hanging displays, one that said Super Mario RPG, a sign topper, and in other words, let's just say 10 little bitty countertop displays. I put it on eBay, and then I was getting outside of eBay offers. And I said, well, and one guy even said, you should get it so you could get so much more money if you take it off eBay and sell it individually. So I canceled it, and I was going to think it over. And I got an email. I had it up there for $200, right? I didn't even expect that. Someone sent me an offer for $1,500 for 12, think about about 10 or 12 little cardboard counter displays. And he said he was a fan of my collection, and he desperately wanted them.
For different games, there were 10 or 12 of them?
Yes, let's see here. Let me get the list here. Actually, here is
the list.
Yeah, I had to so I could make the description. There was 4 countertop Nights into Dreams displays, 1 Super Mario RPG, 2 Sonic 3D Blast, 1 Donkey Kong Country, 1 Super Mario's Yoshi Island, 1 Sega Saturn, 2 Mortal Kombat, 1 Donkey Kong 64, 7 Donkey Kong Country 2, 2 Super Mario RPG, 2 Yoshi Story, 5 mini posters, which was Donkey Kong Country and a few others, and 1 PlayStation Shootout 97. And like I said, I sold these because they were duplicates of extra. I still have a bunch of those in the game room now.
Wow.
Those are all A-level games except Shootout. That's crazy. Yeah.
And so I didn't blame me. And like I said, they were extras, multiple extras, so I didn't have a problem with partnering with them.
Let me ask you about that Nights into Dreams lenticular display that you have.
The big one?
Did you make a light box for that, or is that how it came?
I sure did. Let me tell you that wonderful story. Everything has a story. It was like, I think it was like, that game was 95, right? I was out at the mall, went past a big store, the mall directory, and it had that in it. Glowing, beautiful 3D. You see how it changes from one image to another?
Yeah.
I said, gosh, I'd love to have that. I got to figure out how to get it. So I went on down to the store I was going to visit to get some clothes. I came back, and it was gone. They just came and switched out the display. I said, oh, my God, how in the world could I have missed that? I called Sega, and I talked them into shipping me one, and I paid for the shipping.
What?
Oh.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And I had a buddy out at work who built that box for me. And here's the funny thing. Now, this is what's going to blow your mind. About a year or two ago, now you realize that thing stands 5 foot tall by 3 foot wide. It's very, very big. I saw one of those that was only the size of notebook paper, and it sold for $400 on eBay. I couldn't imagine how much that big.
Tall.
Yes, it's 5 foot tall and 3 foot wide. It's beautiful and it's large. That's the problem with that video. Even when they came out to film the video for G4, everybody says that the video and pictures don't do it justice about how big the game room is and how incredible all that stuff is and how large it is, like that sign especially.
Let's get into that real quick. G4 actually came out to your place and did a video. How was that experience working with G4?
Oh, it was fun. Of course, I didn't get to meet the hosts. They had a film crew come out and do B-roll. Now, here's what's funny. Our segment lasted, maybe about 7 minutes? It took it lasted a minute and a half, I guess, but it took about 4 hours to film it. That was what was so funny.
Wow.
That's the funny thing about TV you don't see in the background. Yeah, it took about 4 hours for them to film it. It was a lot of fun. They filmed a whole bunch of stuff with their B-roll, and then they just picked out what they wanted to use. But it was really interesting. I was actually surprised. They found out about me. I'm pretty sure that when y'all saw my pictures too, when the game room was being built, they were all linked from a site called dragonslairfans.com. That's where a bunch of us like to meet and talk about Dragon's Lair and show everybody has pictures of the game rooms and games they're restoring and collecting and things like that. And that's where I was posting everything, and that's how everybody found out about it and spread around. That's how G4 found out about it.
Now you have both Dragon's Lair arcade machines as well, right?
Yes, Dragon's Lair 1 and 2. That's the only thing bad about the collection that I'm kind of scared of. Is I'm scared. In other words, every time I turn everything on, I got the irrational fear that it's going to break.
Yeah, no doubt.
Barry, do you have everything insured?
Yes, I have it. I have it insured for a crazy amount. But here's the catch: even if there was a disaster, and of course the insurance paid off, I wouldn't be able to replace hardly any of it.
Yeah.
Most of it's irreplaceable, especially like those Sonic and Tail statues. You can forget it. You'll never find another set of those.
You have a good lock system and security system. I know you do, right?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely alarmed. And I have this. I bought one of these locks on the door they use at banks, where you have to type in this code, and you can beat it with a sledgehammer and it won't bust it.
takes your eye scan and your fingerprint and shit.
Yeah, like you're looking into it and it scans you just like on the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Right on. What do you plan, Barry? What do you plan on doing with your collection down in the future? Do you plan to just hold on to it until you pass away, or what do you plan on doing with it?
Well, I plan on holding on. I don't ever want to part with it. I mean, I don't want, if I die, then once I'm dead, it's out of my hands.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I don't ever want to let it go. It's something I really enjoy. It's just being in there. I mean, when I go out there and play on Xbox Live or whatever, and just being in the room and it's all around you. It's just the ultimate thrill to be in there and play the game.
It's a total escapism room, isn't it? It really is.
Totally.
Yes.
Like, you got to talk about, I want to ask, and I know we all want to ask, about the carpet. Where do you buy that carpet from? I would love to have my entire place in that carpet because it's so cool.
Well, all you got to do is it is actual arcade commercial grade carpet. You have to go to a commercial carpet dealer. I went to this place in Houston called Carpet Giant, and they sell carpet for arcades and bowling alleys as well as people's homes. Yeah. And that carpet was specifically made to be in arcades, and it does glow. I got about 10 or 15 blacklight fixtures hanging in there on a separate switch. So when I want to go in there and be in just playing Xbox or whatever, I just turn on all my signs and I turn on the black lights, and it's total awesome video game ambiance.
Nice.
Now, the display cabinets that you have in the center of your room, you built that, I believe you said, with your brother or something?
Well, actually, my buddy out at work helped me with that. Okay. My good friend Delton, he's a very good carpenter. The story behind that is most of y'all probably still have Kmart where y'all are, right?
Not anymore, actually. Kmart's finally gone from this place.
Really, we lost. Kmart decided to close all their doors in Texas back in 2002, and when they announced the store closing, I was right up my alley because all the times I would see Kmart was one of the places I'd visit to ask for posters and displays. And around 1999 or 2001 maybe, they changed their store in the electronics department, and they got these beautiful cases. They were red and blue, and I always thought, gosh, those are the same colors of Sonic. I wish I could get these cases somehow. They'd be awesome. And then, boom, they decided they were going to close all the stores in Texas. That very day, I went down there and put my name on a fixtures request list. So when they actually sold the store out, people can come in and buy the fixtures. I have my name on the cases and the video game display station. All I did was I just wanted the front with the frame and the glass. The rest of it was worthless because it was just those typical gondola shelves that are like 12 inches deep. I was able to buy them, and then I went to another Kmart in Houston and got another set of 4. So I got 8 cases, which equaled 40 feet of display case, 20 feet on each side, which makes 40 feet total. And I stored them at our house until we built the game room. And my buddy out at work, I figured I wanted them at least 2 to 3 feet deep, and he helped me. We just basically built the cases around it and put them together. It took about a couple of months to build them because we had to figure everything out from scratch.
Wow.
And once it was all finished, I basically set it all in the I kind of hid all that stuff out at work down in the basement, and because I didn't have anywhere to store it at home, and because it was so large. And when the game room was finally finished, we brought it all out there and assembled it, put it right in the dead center of the room.
That must have been a lot of fun. I know when I set up a new display case, and it's always a lot of fun putting the stuff in there and arranging it, being like, okay, this got to go here. This is too big for here. I love moving that stuff around in the
Sure.
cases.
That's the truth. That's why my wife's always saying, you're never going to be satisfied with the room. I said, of course I'm satisfied with it, but once you figure out something better, you rotate things around and adjust it. That's half the fun. I moved the room around just recently because now that Sonic the Hedgehog's anniversary is going to be 20 years this year, they're starting to come out with some new stuff. So I had to kind of shuffle the cases around so I can fit in all the new Sonic stuff.
Which, by the way, the new Sonic stuff is actually pretty top-notch, especially did you see the prototype pictures for the Generations figures where they're going to cover the different years of Sonic the Hedgehog?
I haven't seen those either.
Yeah, they're coming out with figures where they're doing like 1991 Sonic, 1993 Sonic, and then, all the different years where he goes through different redesigns. They're coming out with figures for it.
I gotta see that. The only thing I'm disappointed with right now is Have you? Surely you have the figures from first4figures.com.
Yeah. I just got my supersonic, and
mine came damaged.
I heard a lot of them were coming damaged. What happened with your supersonic?
The flames in the back were broke off, and the problem is, my wife was out there when it was being delivered, and she saw the delivery driver throw it from the back of the truck to the front. And when she saw my wife, you're like, "Oh, hi!" In other words, he was caught just chunking packages, and I think it was fine until it got here and it broke it. They broke it, but there's no way to prove that. So I called First 4, and they're recasting everything, but before they'll send us our new figures, they're going to make us destroy the other one.
Really?
You have to take pictures of it all smashed up and send it to them, and then they'll send you your new one.
Now, did you get the exclusive version or the
exclusive? That's why I was really mad. I mean, I got the one that that lights up in the back.
That's so frustrating.
Here's something that'll make you cringe. I noticed you have one, but it's for many years I've been trying to get a hold of the 10th anniversary Sonic statue. The 500 limited one from the Crystal Cube collection and all that. I got one of them finally about maybe 6 to 8 months ago, and it arrived freaking broken. The head was smashed off.
No, you're kidding. Because that one's if you didn't order that when it came out in 10 years in 2001, I think they're nearly impossible to find now.
Yes, and I finally got my hands on one, and it's broken. And it wasn't just, the money, I lost out on money on it, but it's just that there's only 500 of them, and now there's one less, which is very unfortunate. Like, I felt bad for... like, I was upset about not having one, but I'm like, shit, like, this is...
Did you get the cube?
I have the cube. Yeah, I have the cube. I have the wine glass as well, signed by Yuji Naka, which is actually quite a big deal to some people...
There was two other items. Oh, you really?
The sterling silver ring.
I didn't get that.
The ring is that one just sold on eBay for like $550, I think. What was the other one you were going to say?
Oh no, I was going to mention the ring. I think there was a ring and there was a charm, a necklace.
I don't think officially there was a necklace. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was just the set of the cube, the ring, statue, and cube. But we won't go too off topic here for the Sonic haters out there, which I'm sure they're out there. I could talk about Sonic all day, but I mean, have you ever gotten anything else that's broken on the way home or something like that?
I'm trying to think. Well, not in the Sonic collection. There was another statue I ordered, and it came broken. It was a Blanca statue for Street Fighter 2. It was broken from the base, but it wasn't really broken. It just, the glue came unloose. I was able to fix that. But I could have fixed the Sonic. But for that much money, I don't want there to be any imperfections. I didn't want to have to glue those flames back on. I want it to be perfect for that much money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that you're kind of like with me. I collect a lot of Star Wars stuff. My Star Wars collection isn't as on par with your collection, but kind of similar to you. You have a story for every item you have, right? You can point out an item. You have a really cool story to go along with that.
Yes.
And same is true with my collection and my Star Wars, and I think a lot of collectors are the same way. Where I can pinpoint a Star Wars item I have, I can tell exactly how I got it, where I got it, and the story behind it. I think that's part of the why I'm interested in collecting stuff, is because it's kind of like the hunt. I like the thrill of the hunt, and I think you're the same way. You like to go out and find things, right? So I can totally relate to you. I know a lot of people can relate to the situation. So that's awesome, and I also like the fact it sounds like your wife is very supportive of your hobby.
Oh yeah, she's the one. Here's the funny part. She's the one who actually told me when we saw the Nintendo 64 full-size stand-up display, they looked like they were deleting it from the Toys R Us because Nintendo 64 had just turned old and the GameCube was out. And I said, she said, "Why don't you go ask for it?" I said, "No, I don't feel like hearing no again, especially something for that big." Well, she'd coerced me to go over there and do it, and what do you know? That I was able to get the Nintendo 64 display station and the Nintendo Power Preview station for absolutely no charge.
Amazing.
They just wanted it out of there. The only thing they did do was keep the monitor, which I didn't care anyway. It was already worn out. It was on all day, every day since '96. So I just called Nintendo, and I did buy another official monitor for it, which was not a problem. And I ordered a replacement dome for the game, and I made it brand new again.
You realize what's going to happen after people listen to this podcast, or people are going to be flooding their local Sears and Toys R Us's and whatnot, and begging managers
Well,
for stuff.
the catch is, though, they're not going to find anything. There literally is no more displays. I mean, they may have a poster way up high on the wall, a generic thing that just says video game department, but there are no more displays. If there's anything, they have them at GameStop, and
They got the GameStop logos all over them,
and they won't let you have anything there at all.
Yeah, they destroy it there now at GameStop too. Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that displays are? Is it going more digital? You think with social media, cost-effective reasons? Why do you think that we're seeing a less emphasis on displaying and advertising in store? POP.
Well, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. In the late 90s and early 2000s, I think the video game sales partially declined, or they actually I think they just cut their funding on promotion and just do it all on the web. And I guess, and now that there's no more, there were video game departments everywhere. I mean, there was a big, beautiful one at Sears. Walmart had a beautiful. They had all the Nintendo signs, posters, displays, and everything. If you go to Sears now, it's just a little bitty case in the corner. If you go to Walmart, it's just in the wide open, and they have the display unit right there next to the games. I just think they feel like there's no need for displays anymore, and if they do have anything, it's only at GameStop, only at video game stores, and there it's very limited. I think they just decided to end the funding on the marketing, physical marketing, when they just do it all online with the like you said, the social media and the commercials, and which is a shame, is that that keeps me from getting more goodies.
Yeah.
Well, it makes the goodies that you have that much more special, though.
That's true. I mean, in other words, one thing I could tell you about the collection that is important is the attention to detail. That's what I did. Like, let me give you an example. When Sonic and Knuckles came out, they had a promotion with Lifesavers. If you buy packs of Lifesavers, you can get $10 off on the game. So what I did is I went out and bought one pack of every pack of Lifesavers. And now when I look at the poster, I can grab my pack of Lifesavers out of the case and hold it right up to the poster, and there it is. And so is the packs of Bubblegum gum. That's what makes it really neat, is here it is on the poster, and here it is in the display case.
That's pretty cool.
What's the one item that you want that you don't have?
Let's see. There's actually a couple of them, and one of them is only because when we were building our house, I was not allowed to buy anything on eBay. We had to put all the money towards buying the house and building the game room, of course. Someone put a promotional kit from SpaghettiOs, which had an empty can of Sonic the Hedgehog pasta and all the displays in a custom little briefcase that vendors would take to grocery stores to show and sell them. That was a one-of-a-kind find, and I've never seen one ever again. The other thing was there was supposed to be a Sonic the Hedgehog fishing rod. I never found it, and there was, I believe someone said there was a Sonic the Hedgehog. There was a Sonic the Hedgehog bicycle helmet, but it was only sold in the UK. And here's what's funny about collecting. People in the UK sometimes get cooler, better stuff than we get in the US that never comes here. And some of the stuff in my collection came from the UK, like these. It's called Sonic the Hedgehog Bubble Bath, and it's in the shape of Sonic, from a company called Matey. And it was only in Europe. I had to buy it off eBay to get it here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
And
Pete takes a bath with that stuff even today. I think tonight he plans on taking a bath with Sonic tonight, don't you, Pete?
One disappointing thing, I have multiple, as you can see, I have multiple containers. I was so happy that I won an auction on one that was never opened. It still had all the bubble bath in it. It didn't survive shipping, and when I got the package, it was all blue and wet on the bottom. It leaked out. So I was bummed. I had to wash it out and put it in the case empty. But other than that, I really that Sonic ring, that silver ring, I'd like to have. I know one more thing. There was a Sonic the Hedgehog ticket redemption machine.
Yeah.
They had an arcade. It was nothing of a game to play, but it had original Sonic all over it. And when you played it, it played Sonic 1 music and themes. Had beautiful artwork. I wish I had that.
I could swear I saw one of those on eBay.
There was about a month ago.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you find those things, they're always a million miles away, and those machines are usually always in bad condition because kids had kicked the crap out of them in arcades.
What about a Sonic the Fighter's arcade machine? Do you want one of those?
I've never seen those. I've only seen those as PCBs for sale.
How about the Sonic arcade game, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog? You know that one with
the Sega Sonic? Yeah, they're where you're it's like a kind of a side scroller.
Yeah, it's like it's sort of like an isometric game with a trackball.
Right. I've only played that one on MAME. I've never seen one for real.
Pete, who's the character in that was only in that game? And we talked about it previously in another episode, but it was like one of the trivia questions, wasn't it? That we had earlier.
I don't think it was one of the trivia questions, but in Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, there's Mighty, the armadillo. The
armadillo, yeah.
Chaotix. And then there's what's his name? He's the squirrel. He's the yellow squirrel. I forget his name.
The squirrel.
He's only in that one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one Sonic I'll never have the physical copy of, that's for sure.
Never say never.
Yeah, that's true. Never say never.
But yeah, I think that covers it. I mean, I wish I could find those items, but like especially the fishing pole and the helmet, but I've never been able to find those and get a hold of them.
Well, that's the thrill of it. You keep on searching, and then the one day you find it. And
I'll tell you one thing. This is terrible. This is one thing I really did want, and it escaped me because, of course, being in the real world about eBay, there's always somebody out there with more money, of course. I have a Sonic the Hedgehog lunchbox, and one time I was doing my usual scan of eBay for Sonic the Hedgehog. I came across the original, what they call it, the camera artwork that was for the lunchboxes. It had the I guess you call it the plate of the top, back, and all the sides. And it was from Aladdin, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I got to win that!" It was like about $200. I can swing that, and the auction ended at like 3 in the morning. I waited up till then, and I placed my bid, and then it went up, and so I quickly placed another bid, and I tried to snipe it. When the auction was over, it went from like $300 all the way up to like $2,000.
Oh my God.
Within a matter of seconds. And I was, to me, being the immature person, I sent the guy an email by eBay saying, look, if money's no object to you and you're going to place a crazy high bid, do it in the beginning so the rest of us won't waste our time.
Yeah,
staying up until 3 in the morning. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was back in the day when you were able to see the bidders' names, right?
Yes, not anymore.
Yeah. There's some because people doing that all day long, pissing everyone off. Yeah, I remember when they changed that too. That's crazy.
Wouldn't doubt it if you and I have clashed on some auctions in the past. I definitely think we have.
Do you have any autographed, like signed items that you like to mention in your collection?
Not Sonic. The one thing I do have signed, which was a nice luck-out item, was a Dragon's Lair arcade-themed poster that was signed by Don Bluth and Gary Goldman, the creators of the game. So I was able to I got that from them in 1995.
Wow, that's cool.
I lucked out on that one. I was, trying to, when that's around in the mid 90s when animation cells became the big thing. I tried contacting, I called every studio in California trying to find out where Don Bluth was currently working to see if he'd want to get rid of animation cells. And he said he was about sending me something. He appreciated the how much I like Dragon's Lair. And about a week or two later, I received a poster tube with their autographs on that poster.
Wow.
That was pretty nice of them to do that.
You place a value on that. You really can't,
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
It's sentimental value and it's priceless.
Exactly.
So.
Like I said, when you go back to talking about the insurance, it's only for just if something bad happens, okay, here's the payout, the insurance coverage, but it's not going to get most of it back.
So I got to ask you something else here. Just kind of going off topic a little bit, but you mentioned that you went down to Area 51, and when I looked at your YouTube channel earlier on, it said books, anything on UFOs. So I'm guessing you're a big UFO fanatic as well.
Oh yeah, I've believed in that stuff for as long as I can remember, even when I was a little kid, and of course I was a fan of the X-Files and all those shows, and In Search of, depending if y'all are as old as I am, you remember that show from the late 70s and early 80s.
What show was that?
It was called In Search of. It was hosted by Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, like all those old shows, like Strange Universe. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Remember Outer Limits?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
But the In Search of show was like a real documentary based on things. I remember when they went and talked about the Amityville Horror and things like that. But I've always been interested in that we're not alone in the universe, and of course, during the 90s, I was always glued to the TV for the X-Files and things like that. And when the internet came along, I was able to research more about Area 51, and I said, you know what, I want to drive out there and see this place. So the summer of '97, I got me a little map book and mapped from Houston all the way out to Nevada, and packed me a big ice chest and drove. I went through Roswell, New Mexico first, and toured that place. And like I said, if you saw my videos and everything, we went out there as far as you could see. And I tease they call the guys that are out there on the border, they call them the camo dudes. I took my four-wheeler out there one year and taunted them. I went over the border with my four-wheeler and everything. They didn't do nothing. They could have, everybody, I got 1,000 comments like they could have shot you and blah, 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 but they didn't, so.
You know what? They know there's a certain kind of risk zone, I bet, and you're nowhere near it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, it's interesting, just speaking of this topic, since we're talking about this, in college I did a 50-page argumentative paper, like trying to, prove that aliens were real. And I kind of went into it unbiased. I really didn't know what to believe when I first got into it. I was going to actually, my stance was that they were fake, that there was no such thing as aliens. And I did a whole bunch of research, 50 pages worth of research that I wrote. And I determined that after doing all this research, that I believe personally there are people outside. I think there are extraterrestrials out there.
He figured out that Gamester 81 is actually an alien.
I figured out that Johnny Millennium's an alien and his mom's an alien. And he's got
good comeback.
Alien probes. He's got alien probes up his ass.
Yeah, I got alien probes now. It's the best comeback in the universe. But, so have you ever seen anything, Barry? Have you ever seen anything?
Well, I can tell you, I can tell you the things I could explain and couldn't explain. The first year I went out there, of course, if you know about Area 51, you know about the little alien. It's in a little town called Rachel. It's the closest little city near Area 51. It's a neat little place where you can visit and talk with people. People from all over the world visit the little alien all the time. Well, that first night I was there was a handful of guys out there with all these custom-built handheld radios that they used to receive and capture signals coming out of the base, and they can hear the aircraft flying overhead. And it was a dark. If you ever been out of the city and been somewhere where you can actually see the stars out there, you can actually see the Milky Way crystal clear. It's amazing. Yeah. Well, I was up there when talking with them. They said, "Listen, you can hear them talking at the base." And while we were listening to them talk, they said, "Look up. You could see." You could see passing over ahead. It was in the shape of a huge triangle. No lights were on. You could see the stars just vanishing in the shape of a triangle as this large craft way up there was going over, and there was no sound.
Wow.
I mean, and I'm not making anything up or embellishing. It just blew my mind.
Wow. I love that stuff too. That's great.
Yeah.
How far is Area 51 from Las Vegas, the city?
Oh, if you were in Las Vegas, you can make it out there easily in 2 hours. I mean, just driving the speed limit. I mean, it's not very hard at all. It's very easy from Las Vegas. Basically, it's just Highway 93 north, and you make a left on Highway 375, and that's it. Just 2 turns. But if you decide to go out there, disclaimer alert, don't go past the warning signs, and don't do anything foolish, because they won't make any qualms about arresting you, and you don't want to go sit in the Lincoln County jail and pay a $1,500 fine. Yes.
Yeah, I'll get shot if you go that far, if you want to push it. So, hey, John, Jason, you know what we're doing when we go to Vegas, right?
You gonna drive? You want to drive down there?
I'll drive. Yeah, I'll drive drunk right into Area 51.
Blow
let's
past
go
the
pick up
warning
some-
signs.
Let's go
I'm
pick up some
down.
aliens. You know what I mean?
I'm down to check it out. You know, if you're serious about it, I'm definitely interested in finding out. I want to go to Roswell too. Roswell.
It's worth seeing. It's very worth seeing.
Yeah.
To visit the International UFO Museum and Research Center. You'll like it. If you ever have any interest, there's a lot of neat stuff. It'll tell you all about the Roswell incident.
We get, in Phoenix, like Jason and I both live in Phoenix, and we get every once in a while when we get those Phoenix lights, those lights that fly over.
and I've always wanted to talk to you about that. Like, have you ever seen the Phoenix Lights?
No, I haven't, but I've spoken to a lot of people who have seen it and witnessed it, and there's like thousands of witnesses, people who witnessed it. So either A, they're all lying, but there's a videotape of it too. So like either A, they're all lying and then somehow getting all together and faking the videotape, or something legit actually happened. So it's interesting.
I'm sorry. I can tell you this though about Area 51. The thing that scares me the most about the amount of security they have out there, their willingness to shoot you. I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody really gives a damn about another new jet. I mean, who gives a shit, right? I think that there's stuff in there going on that's so awful. I mean, the tip of the iceberg would be the alien and the recovered craft from Roswell. There, the thing that scares me the most is there's stuff going on there that could be more diabolical or crimes against humanity. I mean, to shoot people dead for going in there, and I mean, it just isn't warranted.
Yeah. There's I did some research too, and there's some technology supposedly that we've gotten, like fiber optics, are supposedly from alien spacecrafts.
Oh, sure. There a lot of. I remember hearing all those claims a long time ago about the products we're using today are derived from them trying to reverse engineer technology. I mean, because think about it. I've read many UFO books, as you saw on my little thing, and after the 1940s and 1950s, there was an explosion of new technology. Mm-hmm. Stuff just kept spitting out like crazy.
Yeah. What do you think of Bob Lazar, Barry? Do you believe Bob Lazar, or do you believe that's faked? Do you believe he's just making that up?
Well, as much as I've seen about Bob Lazar and read about him, I don't see
it's hard, isn't it, with him? It's hard. Like, sometimes you're like, man, he sounds legit. And other times you're like, man, he sounds so wishy-washy. He's very hard to read.
But here's my main thing. He had nothing personal to gain from it. He hasn't gotten rich. He hasn't He has not gained anything. He's they're always saying that he's been in debt and has financial problems. So and being harassed by the government and threatening to erase him and making his files disappear.
Yeah.
Well, if he was like owning one of those Las Vegas casinos, all of a sudden he got a big fortune, I would say then he must have been bullshitting it. But I don't think we know the whole story, but I don't think he's lying about it. But most people are ready to dismiss him right away.
Who's this guy?
Bob Lazar.
Yeah, Bob Lazar. He's he was a guy who actually claimed that he worked at Area 51 and back engineered. Yeah, he back engineered UFOs and stuff like that. Was that in the late 80s?
Yes, it was in the summer of 1989, I believe. That's when he went. He met with George Knapp at KLAS TV in Las Vegas and broke. That's how Area 51 came into light. Period, was because of Bob Lazar.
Huh. That's a Lazar story, a bizarre story.
Right. See, the quick summary on how it broke is that when he was working there, he wanted to show some of his buddies what was going on out there, and he took them out around the perimeter of the base to let them see the UFOs taking off and being test flown and going back down, and they got busted. And when he was scared for his life, that's when he broke the story so they wouldn't make him vanish.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the movie The Fourth Kind?
I haven't seen it.
No.
Oh, you guys need to see this movie. It's the chick from Resident Evil who's in that movie, Mila Jovovich or whatever her name is. Yeah, but she's in that, and it's based on a true story. And it's interesting because the way they made it and directed, it's taking place in Alaska, and took half the movie is actually filmed, like actually fake.
Hey, don't tell me the story. I'm going to get it.
No. But half the story is just like hand camera, actual footage.
No, don't tell me what the story is.
I'm not telling you the plot. I'm just saying half of it's actually hand camera, like home video, actual shit that happened, and half of it is of real life. Johnny, watch that movie and get back to me and let me know what you think.
I'm writing it, typing it down now. I'm gonna find a file on it after the show.
I'll just say this. I won't ruin it for you, but there are scenes in the movie that are from the hand video camera that'll blow your fucking mind.
Well, there's another one you should check out too. That, I mean, actually, when I first went out there to the Alien back in '97, they had no TV out there and this was before DSS and everything. They would lend you movies out there. They had VCRs in the room. I think they still do. Well, I watched the Travis Walton story, A Fire in the Sky, for the first time out there, and I was by myself, and I was like,
wow.
It scared the shit out of me.
That was a good movie back then, wasn't it? That was a freaky movie back then.
That happened.
Yes.
That happened, White Plains. That was in Arizona, northern Arizona.
Yes. They were way deep up in the, doing that deep forestry logging, and God, that's just a horrifying story. I mean,
No, the fourth kind. You need to watch it.
I will definitely, John, for sure. I can't wait to watch it actually. And download that show.
Fourth kind, you say?
Fourth kind.
Okay, I'll write that down and see if it's on iTunes.
Yeah,
I think it might be.
So yeah, sorry we got off topic there, but what an interesting subject. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. I think we've always wondered about this kinds of stuff. It's so awesome. And when I saw on your page, I'm like, anything on UFO topics, and then you mentioned Area 51. I'm like, oh yeah, you're really into this too. So
here's a question for you guys, just to tie it back into gaming. What's your favorite Alien game?
Area 51.
Oh my God. I don't know, John. Tough.
There's Area 51, the arcade game, and then there was Area 51 for the original Xbox.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot.
I was playing Area 51 the arcade today. I was over at Roundtable Pizza, and they had it, and great game. Just a fantastic shooter by Atari. Absolutely love it.
There's been a couple of Area 51s coming out. Even they had one for PS1 too, light gun game.
Yeah.
And then they also later on down the road, Area 51.
S4.
It's a shooter that was released on PS2 and PC. And let's see, what year was it? Oh, the box is too far. Late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Johnny, what the hell are you eating?
He's eating alien.
Yeah. Dead alien I caught in my backyard. Good. But tough.
We're going to Vegas. I'll be at the titty bar.
A titty bar?
You won't have hard trouble finding them.
Now, Barry, there's one more thing in your collection that I know you have a great story to go with, and in your room you have a sign for Yesterdays.
Oh yeah, there is definitely a story there. That is the original sign from the game room that I grew up as a kid. And there's actually even a video it's my top video right now on my YouTube channel about the mall that I grew up at when I was a kid, which is of like almost everybody's mall. It seems like they're all dying. Well, that sign is from the original arcade that opened up in 1981. And of course, I played every video game that ever existed there all the way up through the early 90s. And then in the early 90s, they made the game room bigger and they took that sign down and renamed it Power Play. And after a few years went by, and I was always thinking to myself, why didn't I ask for that when they were doing the remodel? I bet they just pitched that thing into the dumpster. God, I'm such a dumbass. Why didn't I think in time? So I didn't think about it anymore. I just chalked it up to bad luck. And when we started coming up with plans for the house and in the game room, I thought, you know what? I wonder if there's any chance that sign could still exist. So I went out to the mall and went into the game room and talked to the folks. I talked to the folks there, and they said the same people own that game room now as they did back in the glory days. They gave me their phone number, and their offices are located in Mississippi. So I gave him a call and inquired about it, and she said, it was actually a lady who owns the place, and she says, we might still have it. If you give me a little time, I'll see if I can dig it up and find it. So I let actually a year or two go by, and she kept in contact back and forth, said they're still looking, and then she finally called back and said, well, guess what? We found it. It's under a large pile of junk in our warehouse in Mississippi. You can have it. It's all yours if you just come and get it. So immediately made plans for that weekend for us to drive out there, and spent the night at a hotel. Got up the next day and went over there, and we found it. The body was metal and rusted. It still had the transformer. I hope it worked. And And I said, but the actual facade of the sign was warped and destroyed. And I said, is there any chance you might have another one? Well, here, come look under this other pile. Well, there was another one. I dug it out, and I put together all the best pieces out of one, brought it back home, and spent about a month sanding it down, restoring it. And the facade was actually made of wood and warped. I just sprayed it down with water and then put a bunch of heavy weight on it and let it dry, and it flattened it back out, sanded it down. And the fun part of it was, since it was made for the mall, it held 82 lights. So I bought 82 compact fluorescent lamps to put in it. Needless to say, after putting it all together, it is super bright. So when I bring people in, I'll turn it on and let them look at it for a few minutes, but it's like turning on a welder's torch in the game room. It's so bright. But it was so worth it. I mean, to be able to pull something from the past and recapture it like that it was a pure miracle.
That is insane.
So now the part of my childhood will live on forever in my game room.
Have you ever considered writing a book or detailing I mean, seriously, you got some amazing stories.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, no, I never really thought. I mean, I basically spit all that we've just been talking about basically on the forums and stuff like that, but never really thought about writing anything, basically. The way I am, I probably couldn't whip out 10 pages and get stuck. But no, I haven't really thought about writing anything.
You know what you should do is on your channel on YouTube is you should pick one item at a time and sort of do a video of that one specific item and talk about your story behind that one item. That would be awesome.
That would be a great idea. People would love that. That way you'd be educating people who don't know, about these items. That's the good that would come from it.
Yeah, history of the item, then your story of how you got it and behind it. I think that actually would be a really successful
It's great to have
channel.
all that stuff, and it means so much to you, but it's so much more wonderful to even share that with other people. That's kind of what it's about as well, I think, anyways.
Right.
And then even a better idea is when you're done reviewing them, you can send them to me, and I give you my mailing address afterwards, and then I'll be happy to take them off your hands for you.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Can't say no to that deal.
There's one other daunting task that someone suggested, but I just don't know if I want to do it. Someone suggested that I need to catalog the collection. Like, since I work at a museum, I know all about the, cataloging and things like that. I just don't, that would be a daunting task to photograph and make a description and store it, make a catalog of everything. That would be a daunting task. But someone said I really should do it, especially for the insurance reasons, because if something did happen, they'd be trying to say that, how insurance companies always try and weasel out of paying for anything.
Yeah. I've been doing that with
If you had a video of every item you had, and you send them that on 25 DVDs.
Right. I have the video like y'all seen, but it's not in full detail with each individual description like that. But yeah.
In your situation, and I've dealt with insurance on not something too of that caliber what you have there, but something similar when it comes down to items and collections. And what they did accept is they accepted a video, a well documented. Like if you do a well-documented room tour and just film everything and make it very thorough, insurance will take that too. I know that they will.
I'll have to do that. See, I'm planning on. Like I said, when I've made a few changes to the room recently. I got like a new game chair, and I rotated the collectibles around a bit because my Sonic stuff is still growing, and some of the older stuff like the Pac-Man items I moved those to a smaller outside display case on the other side of the room. I need to do it. I want to do another video in high definition, and because every time I do, I still have this crummy VHS-C camera, which is horrible. I thought about maybe doing it with the iPhone, but I just don't know if it'll have a good enough low light lux.
What you need to get is that's true, low light.
It'd be all
I was going to say get the Flip Ultra HD, which actually shoots really nice HD video at a pretty cheap price, but the problem is they're bad in low light. That's the only problem.
And plus, and believe me, low light to most electronics now is if it's not blazing sun, it's low light.
Now, what the hell was that?
What is that?
Sounds like someone's laughing.
No, I think it's Johnny.
Something's up with Johnny's end.
Yeah, I see it. His icon's blinking on the screen.
He froze.
Hold on, let's listen to that for a minute.
I think you got abducted.
And then,
The aliens have gone off, Johnny.
Did it freeze on me or something?
did you go to Area 51 or what's
Well,
that?
it got kind of hazy for a second, and all of a sudden I was on this table, and it was very cold and it was very dark, and there was something inserted anally inside of myself.
That wouldn't be the first
I
time.
think it was Barry's collection.
Oh, well, the question is, did you enjoy it?
I loved every second of it. I need to get abducted more often. It's a lot.
Oh man.
Now, Barry, I think your game room tells us quite a bit about what games you like to enjoy, that you enjoy playing. But besides like Sonic and Donkey Kong and stuff like that, are there any other game series and games that you really enjoy that doesn't really have a lot of merch representing it that you like to play?
Oh well, sure. I still I'm a big Halo fan. I love playing Tetris. I mean, it's such a simple game, but for years I played it by myself against the computer. I bought Tetris and Dr. Mario because I never had anybody to play with, so I'd always play the computer. And then finally they brought out a version of it on Xbox Live, and you can play people that way, which is a lot of fun. The problem with me is I'm a real picky gamer, and I don't play too many sports games. I guess I just kind of have a prejudice against them because when you go to the arcades, that's all that's in there now is flying and driving and fighting simulations. There's nothing else. So I'm burned out on those. And like I said, I've been playing Halo, and I just started playing that's a Donkey Kong game, but I started playing Donkey Kong Country Returns. It's fun, but it's almost a total completely remake port from the Super Nintendo version. It's the same music too. A little disappointed, but it's still kind of fun.
Have you played Sonic Colors by chance?
No, and I hope I don't make y'all mad at me, but I hate the new Sonic. I love Sonic 1, 2, 3, CD, 3D Blast was but when it got into Sonic Adventure and those Sonic games, it's like when you start playing the game, you start moving, and then you just set the controller down, the game plays itself.
Yeah, that's true.
And I got really turned off with it, and then do you know this is true? I don't like the way they changed Sonic's look. They changed him from classic Sonic to, I call him gangster Sonic. He's always standing there with this finger stance. I don't like the new Sonic 2. I did collect a bunch of it, Joe, just to have some of it, but I haven't really. It just seems like to me, and if I have to say so nobody gets mad at me, in my humble opinion, the new Sonic, especially when it was it seemed like Super Mario 64 was great. They made Mario work great in 3D environments, but it just seemed like it just didn't work with Sonic for some reason. And they just kept trying to make up all these additional stories, and I just got lost in it, and they just keep whipping out all these other characters. They even made...
I lasted till Sonic Adventure, and after that, then I lost interest. Sonic Adventure 2 was really pushing it. With me, I really tried to enjoy that game. I remember buying it and taking it back, and then after that, that's when Sega really fell apart. And the old Sega that we remember kind of, went through the back door, and this new Sega emerged, and they're still not the same. Sega's still not the same as what they used to be. And I think we're allowed to say that. I think even Sega would say they're not the same as they used to be.
It's just, if it wasn't for the classic Sonic, they would. It's just, I just can't believe they dropped the ball with it. Now, have any of y'all bought the Sonic Episode 1 on Xbox Live Arcade?
Yeah. What did you think of that? Have you tried that?
I enjoyed it. But here's my negative comment on it. It was just a fancy remake of several classic Sonic games. In other words, it was like a mixture of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 in high def.
Yeah, it was very similar, which I'm hoping that with Sonic Generations, I don't know, how do you feel on Sonic Generations, which for the listeners that don't know, it's a recently announced Sonic game that's going to use both classic side-scrolling Sonic with old-school Sonic design, and pairing that with the modern Sonic design and the 3D levels.
Well, I hope my fingers are crossed. I hope it's good.
I just want to recommend to you though Sonic Colors. Like I play all the Sonic games and I really did enjoy Sonic Adventure, but I do agree that some of the others in the series weren't quite that great. But Sonic Colors is actually probably my favorite Sonic game since Sonic Adventure. It's actually really good, and the thing about the platforming is it's still very precise. So it's not all speed and just auto playing itself. While it is in there, give it a shot if you can find it cheap. I'd say.
Sonic Colors, you say?
Yeah, Sonic Colors on the Wii. It's actually really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
Now, just to give, not that I ever gave up. I mean, that was when Sonic Adventure came out, I bought a Dreamcast that day to get that game. That's how much of a Sonic fan I was, and all that. And I went and paid all that money to buy that Dreamcast and bought Sonic Adventure. And I did give it a shot, but I quickly lost interest.
Because it was such a big departure from other Sonic games. I think that's the thing.
Right, that's the same thing I said before, that what Nintendo did with Super Mario 64 and made a 3D Wonderful Adventure, they just couldn't do it with Sonic.
Yeah, well, actually, I think of a lot of their franchises. I remember when they brought Shinobi into 3D, they never could quite capture the magic of the original. And yeah, the new games were cool in 3D, but they weren't cool like the old classics. And I know, do you know what? I know it's not because we're older. It ain't because of that. I just don't think Sega did a good transition of some of their franchises to 3D.
Well,
True.
Golden Axe. Have any of you played that Golden Axe game?
I know, but
I heard it's terrible.
I heard it's absolutely terrible, and I gotta get it one day because I hear it's so horrible. I have to see why this game is so horrible. How do you fuck up Golden Axe? I mean, like, really, it's a bunch of guys and gals in the game.
I didn't like
easy.
Echo the Dolphin on the Dreamcast. I wasn't a big fan of that one either, the 3D one. Were you guys big fans of that one?
I rented it. I like just roaming around and exploring in the ocean, but other than that,
Yeah.
But I did love Sonic CD. I mean, so that that was great.
Now here's a question for you: what is your all-time favorite Sonic game?
Oh, that's too hard. I love them all equally, honestly. And let me put it this way: after Sonic came out, I mean, I remember I went down there when they announced Sonic 2. I mean, a month in advance, I went down and prepaid for that game, and I had my receipt hanging on the wall, counting down to November the 24th, 1992.
Wow, that's awesome.
So honestly, I have to say the game I had the most fun with, I'd have to say Sonic 2. Because when that one came out, it took everything that Sonic 1 was and made it 1,000 times better. Because you have to admit, with Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, they were basically a game split in half. Because it was the same, intros to the zones and everything were all the same graphics, and they perfectly blended together. So and they were great. But I'd have to say Sonic 2. I'd have to put that one on top.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite as well. Would you say that's your favorite game of all time?
For Sonic games, I'd have to say yes. I'd put that one as my most favorite
Overall. Out of all the games.
Out of all games of all time.
Out of all games of all times.
Dragon's Lair?
Well, I had Dragon's Lair would have to be number one of all games of all time.
Nice, I thought so.
A couple of Sonic games I do not like are the Game Gear Sonics.
Oh God, yes,
they're terrible.
I didn't know that when I bought the thing. They were 8-bit, and oh my gosh. Yeah. The batteries in that damn thing lasted 20 minutes. If you put a brand new
sounds like the PSP.
Oh, the batteries were horrible. If you didn't buy the adapter, you were screwed. It was terrible.
Sounds like 3DS, yeah, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Barry, have you picked up the 3DS by chance?
Not me.
No interest in it, really?
Well, it's not that. It's just, I mean, we have a regular DS. It's just that after having the iPhone for so long, and from what I heard, that Nintendo's in trouble because they're losing out to the iTunes store on the games. I mean, their Angry Birds has made more than most of the DS games ever released, and that's hilarious. Now, I don't know if that's total truth, but I read that somewhere, and it's just easier. I mean, I don't know if the word is true or not, but they're supposed to be working on something where you can have, you can sync and have download content where you won't have to carry around those cartridges anymore. So I mean, I'm more leery about buying another DS, especially now that the DS 3DS costs as much as two Wii's. So, I mean, I think it's neat and everything, but I just don't know if it's going to go over that well. I mean, it may have limited some more support. See, you remember I bought remember when they brought out their the Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
I bought one of those, and in my collection I have one mint never opened.
Wow.
So, I mean, that thing is neat to play. I have a display for it as well, a little countertop display. It's neat to play, and it's red graphics, but it bombed too.
What's your favorite system of all time then?
That's a nail biter. I would have to say the system. It'd have to go in this order. I'd have to say my most favorite system was the Super Nintendo, then Genesis, then Nintendo 64. Well, I mean, if you can't say Xbox 360 because you're enjoying it today,
Yeah, that's true.
So you never liked the TurboGrafx?
Here's what, talk about kicking yourself in the ass. I had a Turbo Express and I loved it to death, and I traded it off to buy one of my arcade machines. I wish I would have never got rid of the Turbo Express, because that thing was the first portable that came out with a high resolution screen.
It was, yeah, it was great.
And today, even if you look on eBay, they still sell for over $400 without a box, just being there. And
do they really? They're that expensive? Wow, I didn't think they were up there. Wow.
They eat batteries like no other, like the Game Gear though too. Unless, totally.
It is a nice system. I wish I would have kept it.
Way ahead of its time.
And the thing that was nice about the TurboGrafx is I love their cartridges. They were just those little credit cards you just slid into the back. They were great.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say something here?
Sure.
I have to step in here. TurboGrafx 16 Turbo Express mint in box, $49. 2 days to go.
No way. You got to be shitting me.
I'm not shitting you. I will give you the auction afterwards.
Oh, that's awful. I've seen here. You know what? Speaking of that, here's what makes me so mad. I think it was like 2002 or 2003. I won when eBay. That's when eBay was still loose on their controls. I won a TurboGrafx Express, brand new in the box, never opened. It was $300 and something. I paid. They never sent the damn thing. I was furious. God. Tried calling eBay. They couldn't do nothing about it. They couldn't get a hold of the person. I even put a complaint against my credit card. They screwed me over too and they wouldn't take the balance off. So
this guy's saying this is brand new. He took it out. It even has the instruction manual. Everything's mint.
But here's the deal, Johnny. Just like we talked about before, wait like 2 seconds before the auction ends, and it's going to go spike up in price. I guarantee you.
Right.
I don't know.
Just check the completed listings. Just go check.
But this one isn't shrink wrapped, is it? This one. You said this one's open and you can see it.
Yeah, it is, but it's really nice in the box. I'm looking at it here. I'm pretty.
Yeah, but is it bids or buy it now?
Place bids.
And how much time is left?
2 days.
Yeah.
Another issue with the older Turbo Expresses is the sound chip. A lot of times the sound will go bad over time because it's the way they built the sound card. I mean, so you can use like headphones will sound fine, but actually external speakers go to shit after a while. A lot of them are that issue.
Yeah, was it just one of those little bitty disc speakers or something in there?
Yeah, exactly. Here's a question for everyone. What display would you like to see for any game? Like if you can think of a game and would like to see a display for it, what game would that be?
What do you mean display? Like a display like that would be in a store?
Just like a store display. Like
one that existed, John?
What's that?
One that existed? One that we would like to have?
Just one that you'd like to have maybe for a modern game.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
What's yours, Pete?
Now, it's been killing me for years. When I first started using eBay, and I don't think I was dreaming, but I remember seeing a store display for Eco for PlayStation 2, obviously. Which, Barry, if you don't know, I don't know. Are you familiar with Eco and Shadow of the Colossus?
I don't think so. Just fill me in for just fill me in. Go ahead.
They're basically Eco is my favorite game of all time on PlayStation 2. It's sort of an adventure puzzle style game, and Shadow of the Colossus is its semi-sequel. That's the one where you're taking down the giant bosses. It's the game where there's only 12 bosses, no enemies. If you see screenshots, I'm sure you'd know what I'm talking about. Where the guy rides around on the horse and such in the valley. But I could almost swear that years ago I saw a display for Eco, and I've never seen it since. So it must have been like only a few of them shipped out to the stores. I'd love to see one of those pop up again so I can snag that. as well as I'd love to see a display for Res on PlayStation 2. I've never seen anything for that. Some kind of cool light-up display would be awesome. But those are just or Klonoa Door to Phantom Isle. I'd love to have some kind of countertop display for that as well.
There's only one display that got away from me, and I'm still mad about it this day. And I've only saw one, and I never saw another one ever again in our local Sears store. Have y'all ever played Toe Jam and Earl?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Love that game. Well, they had this nifty hanging mobile from the ceiling with Toe Jam dangling on the left and Earl on the right, and the little spaceship, and
one of those was on eBay not that long ago.
No way,
a year ago. I swear to God.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I just need to start typing this stuff in
my eye out
search.
For you. I'll keep my eye out. If I ever see it, I'll email you. But I swear I've seen it on eBay, and it went for about $100, I think.
That's not bad. I swear I was wanting to climb up on the display case and swipe it, and my friend said, if you take that, you know what's going to happen? You're going to get arrested, and then when you're in jail, the guard's going to hang it right outside the cell and just kind of tap and watch it. This is what you're in here for, huh, son? Oh, but yeah, that was the only one that got away from me. And like I said, games like that, Toe Jam and Earl, most people don't even remember it or have forgotten all about it. And if you had something for it, the only thing I have for it was just the folded up poster they gave you in the cartridge box. And no matter how much you try, I tried getting a rag and an iron and smoothing it out. You can't get all the wrinkles out of those folded posters. But I got it in a little frame and got it hanging up.
Nice.
What about you, John?
What would I like to see?
Yeah.
Dude, I would love, and Jason, if you're listening, or our friend Jason, not Jason Heine, but the other Jason, if you're listening, I would love to see a Maze with Balloons display. But hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. I'd like to see the inflatable, like balloons, and have the chicks be inflatable too.
Just the boobs.
With just the boobs. No, I'm just playing.
You're disgusting, John. You're disgusting.
If it existed, by the time you got it, it'd be all vandalized or broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Groped.
So Barry, just to fill you in, Maze the Balloons is a DLC, a downloadable game for Xbox Live that it's kind of an inside joke deal. So, but what I would like to see, well, I've already seen it, I would like is the Master Chief, the stand-up Master Chief full life size one.
Oh, I've saw one of those live before. Awesome. I mean, I've seen one on eBay for auction for not too much, but the shipping was more than actually winning it, and I couldn't afford it at the time. Yeah,
those are sweet, pretty sick. So,
oh, you brought up. Go ahead. I have to bring this one thing up, and when you mentioned the download content, that's another thing that's making the video game signs and posters and displays disappear. You know, the future of games is download content. There is going to be no more GameStop and physical media. They're going to, just like, everybody's buying their music from iTunes. Well, guess what? Video games are rapidly heading that way. And when I bought the Sonic game, part 1, it was just download content only. So guess what? There's no poster. There's no box. I even thought about just finding an image of it online and putting it in Photoshop and making up an Xbox Live cover and making just a simple little box so I can display it to show that it exists, because it's not physical at all.
Didn't Capcom do that with Mega Man 10? Didn't they have like a special limited edition case, Johnny?
What's that? I'm sorry, I'm just
Mega Man 10 didn't Capcom do that for Mega Man 10, the DLC? Like they should release a limited edition box.
Oh, that's for number 9. Yeah, that's why you tripped me out there. That's the one they released for 9, the press kit. But obviously, Rob could get into that a lot more than I could in explaining all that. But I was actually so I had to cut in. I had to see. You're asking about display cases or displays things. That's something that you'd want. I had to check that it was real, because I had something like Pete that he thought he saw a display. He wasn't sure if he was dreaming or not. And when I went in to buy my copy of Earthbound, the day it was released back in the day, I remember walking in and seeing this display cardboard stand. And, I've never really looked for it. It's always been in my mind. And so I just actually typed in on Google, Earthbound store display. And there was a cardboard stand display with the Starman standing there. Because I remember I walked in the store, that's the first thing I saw, and I'm like, oh, it's fucking awesome, the game is here. And I went up to the counter, and there was tons of Earthbounds right behind the counter. Yeah, it was a good memory for me. But that it actually exists, and there's none on eBay. And if they do, I bet they go for like a couple thousand easy. Oh, I believe more than a couple thousand for that. That looks extreme. It says extremely rare. Was apparently used in-store display, as an in-store display. Nobody's even really seen this thing. Amazing.
You know, it's funny that y'all brought that. Every time we start a new conversation, you jog my memory and make me remember another thing. I did remember one more display that I wish I could find. When Street Fighter II came out for Super Nintendo in '92, they had a stand-up poster of Blanca for it. It was at our KB Toys at the mall, and I asked them for it 2 or 3 times, and when I went back for it, sorry, we threw it away. I've never seen another one ever on eBay or nothing or in nobody's collection.
I know isn't that funny? And that's what you did back then, which is so amazing. When you saw something you liked, you asked for it. You know, man, do I wish I had that Earthbound display now. Damn it.
And you just, like I said, you try not to take the no personally, but when you know they're going to throw it away, it pisses you off. See, I can tell you a little backstory on that. One time when I was talking to a manager at Toys R Us, I was wanting the Sonic and Knuckles display, or it was a Sonic 3 display. But at that time, Beauty and the Beast just came out on home video, and they had a huge display at Toys R Us. And I said, I don't understand why you cannot let me have this Sonic the Hedgehog display. Why do you have to throw it away? And he said, do you see that poster over there? And he was pointing to the Beauty and the Beast stand-up display. And I said, yeah. Do you know what I got to do with that? And I said, what? I have to physically go over there and tear that poster into shreds and put it in a pile and take a picture of it and FedEx it to Disney to prove that we destroyed it. Otherwise, I could be fired.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Disney's pretty crazy with that shit, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are so worried about money being made off that stuff. In other words, they want the money. They don't want any secondary profits being made off anything of theirs. And he wasn't kidding. They really have to do that crazy kind of stuff. That's why anybody that ever liked Disney stuff, good luck on getting any displays or anything like that, because you're not getting it.
Yeah, because they don't make enough money as it is.
Exactly.
Fucking assholes.
How about you, Jason? What display would you like?
Garbage. I tell you, it's garbage. I want your Killer Instinct display over there.
That was a very lucky. I mean, that was a luck out because the eyes glow and everything.
Yeah, that's what Daddy wants.
Tell jason how you got it for free, just to make him a little more jealous.
Well, here we had a local video game store called Funko Land before it was bought out by GameStop, and I was friends with those guys in there because, like I said, I went in there on a regular basis asking for displays, and their promotion was ending for Killer Instinct. They let me have the full size stand up. They let me have the countertop displays and the roll up banner posters. I got a whole bunch of Killer Instinct stuff.
Wow!
And I just carefully folded it down and took it right home.
That's killer.
Oh, Jesus.
He always says he's bad on.
I have to mention this one little factor about that, about the collection. I'll try not to run into this too long. I don't want to waste time on, but protecting the collection. Before I had the house we're in, the game room we're in now, it was my old house where I grew up in, and it was an old house. Well, back in '97, I woke up Sunday morning to get ready to go to work, and I stepped out of bed. My feet hit the floor, and there was water everywhere. The pipe burst on the other side of the wall in the bathroom. It was less than 2 inches away from getting to that giant Killer Instinct poster before I saved it within seconds of it being destroyed.
Holy, that's horrible.
Yeah, I frantically ran to get every one of my stand-ups off the floor. Needless to say, anybody that's listening here, if you want to have a game room, it has to be separate. No toilet, no running water, no faucets, no plumbing. Trust me, me and plumbing do not get along. We have like a restraining order. We have to stay 500 feet away from each other. Yeah, so
it's I can see like a slow motion, like Matrix type thing. You're like, no,
I'm not kidding.
Get to it. Water's rushing
I got
in.
lucky. Yeah, just if you're building your own game room, just don't include water lines of any kind. Just go back in the house to use the restroom.
Or just pee out in the grass.
Yeah, I've actually done.
Water the lawn.
It was about 12 midnight one night. I was going on an all night bender playing Halo, and I really had to go, so I didn't want to have to go. I just went outside and whipped it out, and then peed and went back in.
Nice. We've all done that. So
yes.
Cool. Let's get into. Should we start diving into some games we've been playing recently?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Why don't you start? We have our guest start, Barry. What have you been playing lately?
Well, I've just been playing Halo Reach on Xbox Live, just matchmaking. That's what I've been playing the most. It's like playing tag with your friends. You can't get enough of it. I never get tired of it. That's basically the newest game I've been playing lately, besides Sonic Episode 1 on the Xbox Live Arcade. Those are the two latest games, and Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Good games.
How about you, Jason?
Oh, well, I actually have some games, quite a few games on this list today. I know, Pete, you were hanging out a little bit in some of my streaming I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with some Hydro Thunder on Xbox 360. I had a room of about 10 people or so from the community. We all were in there streaming and playing, having fun. Also, after a couple podcasts ago, we were talking about Perfect Dark. And I know,
Yes.
John, you also brought that up to me.
Yep.
So we both have picked up Perfect Dark, and I've been playing a little co-op with a friend on Xbox Live. That's a lot of fun. I think we all should get into that, play some more of that. So, good game. Also, I dove in and started to play some Nintendo 64 Project 64K emulator. Okay, here's the thing. Evidently, these emulators, some of them you can play online. And I've heard about this, and I've known about this for a while, but I've never really dove into it. So I thought, what the hell? Let's dive into it. So I went on and I found this emulator, Project 64K, and you can play online Nintendo 64 games, which is pretty cool. If anything, just to see how that works. If it worked, that'd be pretty sweet. And I only got San Francisco Rush 2 and Mario Kart 64 to work. The rest of the games are really buggy or they don't work at all. But still, it's kind of fun to dive in and just to see, a console that was never intended to be online. You can kind of play these games through emulation online with people. There's a lot of networking involved. It's kind of confusing. If you're a novice, it's probably not going to happen. But it's kind of fun once you get it going.
It's still,
So
I thought you were, when you had the conversation we're doing now, I thought you meant just what's the most current games you're playing, like the new games. But, I'm always definitely playing the old games. Never can get enough of those. And the only thing about the emulation is just it just seems like it's a lot more fun just to play it on the console itself, because every time you do play the emulation, it always seems buggy or it doesn't work right, or the refresh rate is always wrong.
Yeah, you're most definitely right. You're 100% right. It's definitely funner on the consoles, for sure. Emulation is just,
right,
for convenience is all. Exactly. And to play one online there, it's kind of an interesting concept that people have created ways to somehow get these to play, one-on-one with another person or four players, for the 64.
Wouldn't it be great, though, if someone actually got it right and you can actually go back, like, you could say it's like Halo's beginnings playing GoldenEye 007 and play with your friends, like on Xbox Live, playing good old classic GoldenEye. That would be great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I want someone to create a freaking LAN adapter for the 64. That's what I want. So you can just plug that baby right in, Cat 5 into the wall, play that thing online. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then you can try. Have you ever, when you were playing GoldenEye, just everybody had to do it at least once? And oh god, when they're playing the stupid slappers,
Oh, yeah.
Slappers only. Yeah.
I do proximity mines.
Those
Only.
rule.
Yeah.
You hear those things beeping all over the place.
You blow yourself up unintentionally every once in a while. You walk by one, you're like, oh, I killed yourself. Ah, shit.
What was funny is before me and my wife got married, we'd go over a friend's house and play, and we'd be doing proximity mines.
Yeah.
You'd hear someone run into one, and you hear the James Bond theme when they get blown up, and I get the shit sucked out of my shoulder.
Yeah.
She'd say, "You bastard."
It's funny. You mentioned slappers. It was funny when someone's odd job, because it's cheap because you can never slap him. He's so short. Such a
yeah,
bitch
you try to slap him in the head.
Yeah.
And he's always slapping us in the crotch.
It was funny. Everybody had their own names. I was always I forget the girl's name from the movie, but I swear I would always call her. She looked just like Scully from the X-Files.
Yeah, Scully, you're right.
So I called her Scully. I was Scully.
Yeah. I had a crush on Scully back in the day, man.
Oh yeah.
Redheads.
Oh, she was a
Definitely.
bitch, though, man. Like, for sure.
Yeah. I heard she's
Hey,
kind
did
of
I ever tell you that I fucked up an X-Files shooting set?
No.
I worked at a software company at the time downtown Vancouver here, which obviously they showed the X-Files at. And I'm walking down the road, and I realize there's nobody on this major road downtown. I'm like, this is kind of weird. And then all I hear is, keep walking from this microphone thing going blasting. And I'm like, and he's like, don't look at the camera. And I look up, and there's this entire, and there's these guys walking down the road that I guess they were filming or whatever. And I'm like totally fucking it up. I'm like, what? Who are you? What are you doing?
Well, what do they expect if they're yelling at you? Of course you're going to look.
Yeah, exactly.
Walking, don't look at the camera. And I'm standing there like a deer in headlights.
There's the camera.
That's funny. That's my only experience ever being in the act.
That is funny.
Wait, so you in the actual episode, or they get rid of that?
Oh, I think they put that in the get rid of this fucking part. For sure.
It's funny. It's funny. Anything else, Jason?
Oh, yes, 2 more. So recently on Steam, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit went on sale for like $15. This was a couple of weeks ago. Quite a steal, yeah. And so I picked it up. It was a 1-day sale, and I picked it up. And my goodness, people, this is a fantastic game. Wow, the controls are excellent. And I plug in my 360 controller, so I play with that. It's so good, and it looks stunning, breathtaking on the PC. Wow, I know I'm freaking out, but you guys, it is gorgeous.
Have you played
and
online, Jason?
I have not yet. I'm just kind of working through the campaign.
Do me a favor, play online, and I think you'll like it even more, because I think that's even better than the campaign. There's nothing better than playing as making me want to fire that game up tonight, but nothing better than playing as the cops or the race.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into it. I think the cars handle awesome. The drifting works. It just works great. And the detail, the game is so silky smooth, 60 frames a second. It's beautiful. I can't believe the water detail, the lighting effects. I just really was blown away. There's a lot of racing games that I like. As you guys know, I'm kind of a racing fan. But really, that one has really done something to me down there. So I've been playing that, and for $15, it's just so good. And then lastly, Pete, you know what I'm going to talk about now.
Yes.
Lastly, what is it, Pete? Do you know?
MotorStorm Arctic Edge for the PlayStation 2, released in 2009.
MotorStorm Arctic Edge. Yes. Hey guys, 2009. Released for PlayStation 2 by Sony.
And PSP.
They're basically the same port, same game. This game is also fantastic. I am addicted to it. I'm a big fan of the MotorStorm franchise. I'm going to pick up the new one that just came out for PS3. Oh, I guess, a month ago or whatever now. But I want to pick that one up. But I saw this one came out, and I actually didn't know about it until, 3 weeks ago. I don't know how I missed this one. Maybe it's because I don't have a PSP, you know what I mean? But anyway, this game is excellent, and it really shows the capabilities of the PlayStation 2. And really, it just solidifies again, in my mind, that the PlayStation 2 is just such a fantastic console. One of the greatest consoles. It has such a catalog of games. The games look good. It has a lot of potential. It has online functionality. I'm like trying to hit a home button. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's no menu. There's no menu. It just takes me back to 2000 when it came out. But anyway, MotorStorm Arctic Edge came out in 2009. What a great game. You can get it super cheap, around $10 to $15 new. I got mine for $12 sealed. But really, if you guys want a fun game on the PS2 to play MotorStorm, and you like the MotorStorm type of gameplay, it's very arcadey. You're not going to get all the crashing thrills and particle flying and all the excellent rendered textures that you get with the PlayStation 3. But what you do get is a really fun racer that suffers from frame rate issues just a little bit here and there, but it really pushes it to its max. Wonderful game. Yeah, that's all I've been playing. So there's a lot there for you, boys. What about you? Who wants to go?
Hold on, Jason. Have you ever played Extreme G3? I know I've asked you this before.
You have asked me, and
you must play
it. Yeah, I know. I must play it. I need to get it. I don't think I have that one.
Get it on the GameCube, but I'm telling you, you will love it.
It's Extreme G3?
Yes.
See, I have Extreme G for...
You might have the one on N64 or something, but the third one...
I do.
The third one is so freaking fast-paced, and the tracks are just insane, and it has an awesome soundtrack, and it's got weapons.
Is it comparable to like F-Zero GX?
Yeah, think F-Zero with tracks that are like a roller coaster and weapons. And that's
Okay.
Extreme G3. It's extremely fast paced. But go ahead, John.
Okay, so I beat what I beat Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, and I remember last week I was talking about that briefly. It's a very, very short game. We're looking. I know Johnny and Pete, you're both big fans of short games, so this might be a game you guys might look into.
Does it last 10 minutes?
It's like you start it and it's over pretty much. No, it's like 6 hours long at the most.
Six minutes I could handle.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 hours actually. I mean, it's really short. It's for game in today's standards. So, but storyline's good. I like the ending where you can choose like good or bad, dark side or light side, and there's 2 different endings. So I had to beat it once, do the light side ending, see the ending, and then I started from my old save point and then beat it again, and then saw the dark side ending. Very cool endings, both of them, and there's definitely sets it up for a third one possibly, I think, as well. I beat Mortal Kombat, the story mode. Love the game. Love it. Dare I say I might like Mortal Kombat a little bit more than Super Street Fighter 4. I think
Up your asshole, pal.
I think I just said it. I like it better. It's a great game. Story mode is awesome. It's like 6-7 hours. It goes through all the story from Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. It makes you play a little bit of every character on there. There's no fatalities during it, which is disappointing, but I love the gameplay. This is the whole game in general. Mortal Kombat gets so much for that game. Why haven't you guys picked it up yet? Seriously, do yourself a favor.
I haven't needed to. It's actually been in my work, and I've been playing it every day.
Oh, has it? Okay. So you've been playing at work. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
It's okay. It's more combat. I don't know. It's not better than Super Street Fighter. There's no way.
No, I think it is.
No.
think
How is
it's
it better?
right.
How is it better? How's it
Huh?
better? How's it
I
better?
just think the gameplay's better. I like the blood.
Gameplay's better?
Oh yeah.
The game mechanics? No. There's no way.
I like it better.
It's a deeper game. Like Super Street Fighter is a deeper game. Mortal Kombat is a good fighting game, but remember Mortal Kombat back in the day, the Street Fighter, it couldn't hold a candle to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just got violence on its side. That's what it's really got going on, and that's my opinion.
I like the
Barry
playability.
wants to cut in there. Let him cut.
Oh no, I just want to say that that's one arcade cabinet that my game room is missing. I'd really love to have is Mortal Kombat 1.
I was thinking, yeah.
The first time I met how much fun it was. The first time you actually got the fatality right with Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Is that where the one he breaks you in ice or?
Oh, he pulls your head off and spine.
Yeah. That's right.
And it just shows up on display.
So actually, speaking of Mortal Kombat, though, my original Xbox crashed on me like a week ago. Like it just yellow ringed it. It just didn't play anymore. It doesn't ring the disc.
What?
So,
Your 360?
No, my original Xbox.
Oh well, yeah.
Xbox One. I don't know if it's like the hard drive or what. So I went to Bookman's. Jason and I went to Bookman's this week. I picked up a new Xbox. I got the Halo Edition Xbox, the green one. Really cool. So I've been playing. I have this Midway, like what is it called? Midway Greatest Hits, whatever. And it's got all the classic Midway games. So I was playing Mortal Kombat 1 on that. Just kind of go nostalgic reasons. But I'm with you, Barry. I'd love to get a stand-up Mortal Kombat. That'd be an awesome thing to have.
It's hard. It's hard to find because most of the time they were converted into MK2s and MK3s.
Yeah, the original, the dedicated MK1 cabinet was a unique cabinet, and that it had the front was. It looked like your standard Midway cab, right? But then the front had the left and right sides were kind of beveled.
Right.
Yeah, down there, like where your knees are. It was a really, really interesting looking cabinet.
Here's an interesting fact about Mortal Kombat, just while we're on the topic. I don't know if I mentioned before in a previous podcast, but the guy who was supposed to play Johnny Cage was Jean-Claude Van Damme originally.
Really?
But he pulled out last minute, and so they casted some other actor to play him. But if you look at Johnny Cage, it's very similar to Jean-Claude Van Damme, kind of very Jean-Claude Van Damme-ish.
Yeah, well, he jumped into the Street Fighter movie and jumped into the.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
And boy, that movie, that way everybody just hated that one, didn't they?
They did, but you know what? We've talked about it on the podcast. It's become classic. Have you watched it lately, Barry?
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do have a copy of it.
You should watch it again. It's you kind of laugh at it now and enjoy the nostalgia of it a little bit. It's funny how it's aged.
Oh, I bought. I mean, I love the movie. I bought all the action figures that came out for the movie and all the packs of cards and everything. It's all in my collection.
Nice.
So,
it's funny because most movies are based on games. Mortal Kombat is a good one. I like Mortal Kombat 1. The first movie is great. But when I was watching the movie I watched a couple weeks ago was Super Mario Brothers. Oh my god,
Oh yeah.
terrible
Just
movie.
But nostalgic fun. Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck were they thinking? Yoshi, like, didn't even look like Yoshi. Bowser was like, what, that bleach head? It was just terrible. It was
Horrible idea.
horrible idea. But I remember being so excited to see that in theaters too. Like
Everybody was.
I was like, oh my god, Mario Brothers live action is gonna be awesome.
What about that other movie that was basically just a Nintendo advertising movie called The Wizard?
That's a great movie.
Wizard's good,
classic,
I love that movie.
It was basically the whole movie was to advertise Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was good. And the Power Glove.
He made the Power Glove look so easy to play too. Like, what was he playing? Like, he was playing Rad Race or some shit, and it was like so easy.
And, and you didn't notice how terrible that thing was when you got home and you had to put that big clunky thing on your television. And after about 5 minutes of holding your hand in the air, you drop it to your side and rest, and then lift your hand up again. You say, screw this, and take it off and go back to the regular controller.
It's funny.
It's actually funny. I bought a Power Glove the other day.
Did you?
Nice. The whole thing, yeah.
Nice. There's a scene in that Wizard. They're actually at the train station. There's a PlayStation 10 there, and the kid is playing it. He's playing Double Dragon, and they cut away and they cut back like 10 seconds later, and he's like got the highest score, like 2 million points or some shit like that. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, it's just like in when you watch War Games when he's playing Galaga, it's all out of sequence.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's no way you beat that shit and whatever. But classic game. But that's kind of what I've been playing lately. I've been playing Donkey Kong Arcade a lot still, I broke over 100,000 points several times this week. That game is really hard, really hard, and I have mad props for Hank Chen and all them for who have the highest points that they do. So, Pete, what have you been playing, buddy?
I've still been playing quite a bit of Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube. I put in maybe about I put in 3 more hours into it, and I just beat Chapter 1, I believe. So I just got to play as Princess Peach briefly, and that's where I've left off. It's a lot of fun. I'm noticing, though, that it's kind of easy, but it's an enjoyable easy, just like the original Paper Mario, where it's just challenging enough to keep things interesting in the gameplay. But it's more of just discovering the characters and the story in the game and whatnot, and just enjoying the environment and the challenge of it. I also broke out my Sega Saturn, and I started up... I played a game of Astral, which for those of you that might not be too familiar with it, that's a very beautiful 2D side-scroller that was exclusive to the Sega Saturn. And I was actually live streaming that, so I played that for a bit. And then I started a save file, a new game in Magic Knight Ray Earth, which, Johnny, I know you and Rob, man, had...
that's a game that you can finish quickly as well. I remember that.
High praise for that, yeah. And how long do you think... You say it is, like 7 hours or something?
I'd say less than that.
Really? Okay. Maybe I'll play
Actually, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine who came into Game Deals the other day, Jeff. He actually just picked one up on Craigslist the other day. And he's like, yeah, he goes, I really want to play this game. I'm like, yeah, I remember that game. It was really, really short. Like, I remember Rob getting it back in the day. It was like, he's like, I finished it 4 hours. I remember saying 4 hours. Yeah.
Well, because it's jammed full of voice acting and cutscenes and such.
Yeah.
So they got a lot going on that one disc. And I have to say, I'm not that far into it. I've barely touched the surface of the game, but I'm very impressed with the production value of it, mainly because it's got animated portraits, it's got the anime cutscenes and all the voice acting, and I don't care how bad voice acting is in an RPG. I'd prefer it than not having voice acting at all. Honestly.
Really? I can live without voice acting quite easily.
I enjoy it. And also today I started playing, finally, the homebrew shooters that I bought from PAX. I started up Last Hope and Ducks. Last Hope was good. It was pretty challenging, though. It was very hard, especially because there's so much going on screen with the bullets and such that it's kind of hard to tell what's the front and the back and whatnot. But it was fun. But the one I enjoy more is Ducks, and it's spelled D-U-X. And these are two homebrew dream.
Dynamite Ducks the shooter. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes. But
that's what I went to your live stream today, and it says Ducks. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, okay, it's not that Ducks. Good, okay.
But it's a very interesting shooter because it has an interesting mechanic in that you have a bar that will fill up, and you use this bar to absorb bullets. So it's sort of got like almost like a puzzle element to it, where you got to know when and when not to absorb bullets. But it was actually a lot of fun. And both of these games have incredible soundtracks. The graphics are really excellent. Unfortunately, though, Last Hope, like I said, it's a little hard to tell what's going on at times. It's very cluttered. and they're both very challenging, especially Ducks. I can't even pass the second level. And of course, I've actually still been watching more StarCraft 2 tournaments than playing the game, but I've been playing quite a bit of StarCraft and watching the finals and whatnot. I really, really enjoy that stuff. And from what I can remember, and also I just downloaded it. I haven't played it yet, but I totally forgot it was released on the Virtual Console, but I downloaded the game Pulseman, which it used to be exclusive to, well, here's the thing. It released in Japan for the Sega Genesis on the cartridge to buy in stores. And then the only way you can play it in America was on the Sega channel, which I don't ever remember playing this game. But supposedly this is regarded as the best looking Sega Genesis game ever. And it's a 2D side-scrolling platformer that got ported over to the Virtual Console. So I picked it up, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
It's funny that you mentioned the Sega channel. I remember when I first got that, it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
50 games a month for like $12, and that was a very interesting idea. I actually got a little bit of that in my collection. That was one of those. I went down to the cable company and pestered them for all their Sega channel displays. And I was able to get some that have a poster, a little countertop deal, and I never could. I tried to turn the adapter back in when they canceled it, but like in the first year or two of eBay, someone had one up for sale, and now I have a Sega channel adapter also in my collection, which was neat. But you have to admit that was a really neat thing. It was like what led to Xbox Live today.
It was such a cool idea, and I remember because I discovered so many of the games that I would go to Funkoland to buy and whatnot were on Sega Channel. That's how I discovered them and played them and everything. And I know it was sad when they delete some of my favorite ones, but I don't know. It was. I think it was ahead of its time. And I still have so many fond memories of that thing. It's funny because someone posted a video on YouTube of going through. I don't know how they did it, but they were able to go through the menus of Sega Channel and such. So
maybe the adapter can still bring up the basic user screen, but it can't connect.
Something maybe, I'm not sure, but it was fun to watch that again. But that's basically all I've been playing. Johnny, have you been playing anything? Any particular games you've opened recently or anything like that?
Well, besides playing the game of life, which is coming this last week. What the hell was that?
That was something. Someone sent me a Skype message, and that's what it was. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Pete, you had some petition going.
Yes.
Can you tell everybody what the petition was?
So if you would like to sign the official Johnny Millennium Must Open His Copy of Pure Solar, you can head on over to our forums at allgengamers.com, click on the forum topic, which will lead you over to the official petition where you can sign to petition to have Johnny open his copy and play Pure Solar.
Well, it's funny. I went over there today, and I was amazed that 73 people have signed the petition. So everybody wants me to, open this copy. So guess what I'm going to do right now? This is going to be very exciting. I'm doing it right now, live on the air. Just give me a second here.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Fake.
This is just taking some time. Just give me a second, all right?
That's so fucking fake.
Just give me a second, all right? I'm trying to fucking do this. Package really tightly, okay? And John, start speaking in that chair, okay?
Seriously, I think, speaking of ducks, I think he's sitting on one, because that chair has been so fucking loud the whole episode.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm in a hotel.
This guy taped this really good, though. Those are like, wow. Listen. I think I'm squishing the box a little bit. Listen. I got it out. Wait. I got it out. Yeah. Listen. Oh, shit. I think I'm squishing the game a bit. Oh. Jeez. It's becoming a bit of a mess, actually. I gotta put this down. This is getting serious.
What the fuck is he opening up an asshole? What the hell is he doing?
Seriously.
Wait. Oh, I think I've ripped open the box.
Oreos.
Well, I don't need the box, right? Because I only want to play the game. So just a sec. I just get rid of the box. Let's get rid of that. So I just kind of show the box and the instruction. I got the instruction manual here. Wait, it's kind of flimsy instruction. Yeah, I don't need that either. Get rid of that. Instructions are gone. So, yeah, no, I just ripped up the petition. So I didn't actually open the game at all. I was lying. Did you know I was lying?
Of course, because the sealed copy of the game is it's got one piece of tape holding it.
Yeah, Yeah, I got the garbage. I'm slamming it in here. I don't care if you get people signing that petition. They can all go to hell. I tell you, they can all go to hell.
Now, Johnny, what about if they do another print run, or if you buy another copy?
I tell you what, if somebody wants to send me the original, then I will open up the reprint. Sure. Done. Everybody goes silent then, eh? He's like, well, Johnny, the original is quite a lot of money. I can't really be doing that. Oh no.
So, Johnny, what have you been playing?
Nothing. I've been playing the Game of Life. Game show. I actually have been playing. I played a bit of Mortal Kombat at work. As I said, about 15 minutes a day. I've done all the fatalities, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. You know what? The thing is there's a group of us that get together every single day, and we play Street Fighter. And over the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 months, we've become really good at Street Fighter. Hey, did we lose somebody?
It looks like it. We lost.
Yeah, we lost the game.
Oh, Joe, see? But you know what it is? I start dissing more combat, and he gets really pissed off. He just signed off.
That's one thing I do miss about time going by and everybody. A lot, have some friends that move on and things like that. I miss like Friday and Saturday night staying up all night playing Street Fighter 2 when it was brand new. That was a lot of fun. Now nobody, unless you're a big time gamer like us. I mean, most people, I ain't playing that dumb game. It's boring now, but I still enjoy playing it. I still have the Super Nintendo always at hand, and I love to get it out and still play. It's a lot of fun. Great memories.
Kids nowadays, though, everyone just goes online and plays. You know what I mean? That is multiplayer now. But back in the day, and we've talked about this 100 times on the podcast, but like back in the day, there wasn't any online to play these games. You got with your friends, you plugged in 2, 3, or 4 controllers, and you played all night. You had sleepovers.
Right.
I remember asking my mom every weekend, can I go spend the night here?
Can I stay at Gary's house again, Mom?
Yeah. It's like, well, what the hell are you guys going to go do? We're going to play Super Nintendo all night. And that's just what we did.
Sure you are, kids.
Exactly.
So that
but that's the difference,
I mean, not saying there's anything wrong with the online part, which it's also a good thing.
I love it.
But,
I love it, yeah.
But that was also a very good thing too, and I miss all that kind of stuff, Because I had a few friends that used to play games with on a regular basis, and they don't play. As you can see by the way I'm never going to give any of that stuff up. But how you had a friend before that you don't enjoy playing games with him, and now they don't really care to play him anymore. That's the way life can be sometimes.
Yeah, I have a few friends. Like I made an episode of my show where one guy, he got married, and
here John is calling me right now.
He's mad.
John,
he's mad at me.
He's calling me. Hold on. Let's find out. Let's find out.
Yeah. He's so mad at me.
Hello?
Hey, this is Gamester 81 here.
Hey, I don't know. Where'd you go?
I dropped off.
Yeah, we saw that, but where'd you go? What happened?
Still here. I don't know. It's on hold.
Here, let me. I'm trying to call you. Let me try to call you again here.
Okay.
Yeah, it says it's connecting.
I don't see you calling.
Oh, now we lost 2 people.
Now we lost. Here, let me just recall everybody.
Okay. All right.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Okay.
For some reason on yours, John, it says connecting on my end.
Let me try to reboot my computer.
Just reboot. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Give me a second. I'll send you a message on the back.
Okay.
It sounds like an electronic dog. Like one of those little ones you see at the toy store that go yelp, 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 and then it jumps over backwards.
You won't believe what happened. You won't believe what happened, guys. What's going on with this dog? What the hell is going on? Oh, so little green men came knocking my door, and they put me on the table, and they gave me a probe as well, just like Johnny. So sorry about that.
That's okay, but did you enjoy it as well?
No, actually, it was very painful. I didn't enjoy it like Johnny.
Oh, okay, we'll have to let him know. Oh.
Now, is Johnny still not with us?
Are you back?
Is it back?
No.
Yeah.
That's worse than my squeaking, dude. No.
No, you're squeaking. Yeah. I think you were masturbating in the chair. It's like,
Hey, it's a fucking table. I'm at the hotel. It's my
Hey, you don't
table.
need to get angry about it, okay?
All right, I'm just saying.
Hey, well, I'm just saying too.
You should tell me right off the bat when you hear it, rather than letting it milk, go on, and
Hey, there's no need to get upset about it, John. Seriously.
Well, if it was a hotel chair and it's squeaking, there's probably an understanding. We were in Las Vegas last month,
Yeah.
and we had this room, and we could tell that people were screwing on it. The table legs were bent out.
That sucks.
Someone was going to town on that table.
I think that was my room. I'm not sure.
So,
Cody,
what are we
Jason?
doing?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
How about we do some Wales quick draw? Let's get
that's
into
what I'm
some of
saying.
that.
Let's do that. Good call.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Wales Quick Draw.
Jamie G asks, what is your favorite colored console? For example, mine is the Jungle Green Nintendo 64 and the Gunmetal Gray Metal Gear Solid 4 PS3. That's a really good question
Great
because
question.
there's, they like to do special editions of things, and they come out with obviously different colored consoles. There's been tons of them. And to answer that within 1 minute is I'm gonna have to say my Toys R Us exclusive all gold Nintendo 64 is probably my favorite.
That's a good choice.
Next to the all black Sports Dreamcast, I really like that one too. There's tons of them out there, but I'm gonna go with that. My gold Toys R Us Nintendo 64. I love that. So passing it on. What about you, John, Mr. Console?
Oh wow, top of mind, I'd probably say the Xbox Mountain Dew, limited edition one. Pretty sweet looking.
I know you want that too.
I do. So
I've never even seen that one.
yeah, it's like lime green, and it's got the Mountain Dew logo. It's limited edition. Only 1,000 of them were ever made, and it was a promotion back in 2004. For a couple months, they said you collect 550 Pepsi points, whatever, for Mountain Dew, and it will give you the opportunity to buy the console. It doesn't even win you the console. You have to get the points and then buy the console. So it's pretty rare today, but it's a pretty cool looking system for sure. So Pete, to you.
I would have to say my long lost and stolen years ago, the limited edition Game Boy Pocket. I think it was Ice Blue they called it, but it was like a very chrome, light blue kind of color to it. They really have never released another color that's similar to it in terms of the shade of blue that it was. I love that system. It's just unfortunate that it got stolen many years ago and haven't had a chance to replace it. Johnny?
This is an ordinary choice for me, but one that really attracted me to the system to begin with was the original GameCube purple. I just thought that was such a cool design, such a great color. I love the GameCube design, and I never could understand why people hated it so much. I thought it was cool. So, what about you, Barry?
I'd have to agree. I like the Jungle Green Nintendo 64. I actually got that set unopened with the Donkey Kong and the Halo 3 Special Edition on the 360. And on the wish list, which are almost damn near impossible to find, they call it the Nintendo. I wish I had all the colors from the Nintendo 64 series. I think it was called. Where they had the red, the blue, I wish I had all of those because I think those are the most interesting series they ever made.
Is that a UFO coming now? Jesus.
Hold on, shit. You can hear that?
They're coming for you, John. They're coming for your ass.
Hold on.
Fucking UFO.
It's hovering outside.
Just lay down, John. Close your eyes. It'll be over.
The fuck?
John, don't resist.
It's my AC. My fucking AC went on behind me.
Yeah,
Hold on.
sure it is. As the anal probe gets inserted.
Sound like the anal probe coming in hot.
It's 3 feet inside of him now.
What the fuck? Leave me alone! Oh my god! Oh god!
Oh, he's gone.
Oh. Oh my god! What the fuck just happened?
John, I just want to say something. It's not your fault.
All right, that's funny.
All right, next question.
Barry doesn't know the format, but Wales Quick Draw, Barry, the questions, we each have a minute to answer. If we go over 1 minute, that sound effect with a whale and gun will play.
Okay, that's the STFU warning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I went over because I got abducted.
Yeah,
So.
you got raped, buddy.
All right, pick a question, gentlemen.
Here's one. This is from Stephanie Moreira. Probably butchering her last name. Sorry. Which video game would you like to see turn into a live-action movie or series?
That's
We've
cool.
gone over that before.
I'll tell my answer real quick. I'd like to see a live-action Halo.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
They made an anime one, but I don't think that really doesn't count as a movie, but live action.
Yeah, no, live-action Halo would be sweet. I kind of picture kind of a Star Wars-ish. Have George Lucas direct it.
It'd have to be done
Have
right,
Jason do the audio. Yeah.
because it could be a horrible B movie.
Yeah. Jason.
Oh God, I knew you were gonna say me. I can't think of anything that's not like cheesy or stupid. I would love to see a Halo movie too. Pete, to you.
That would be pretty cool, though.
I know it would be.
Shadow
I
the
know. I
Colossus
like it.
movie. Shadow the Colossus movie.
That would be cool, but I'm gonna say, how cool would it be to see like a cheesy ass, over the top, altered beast movie?
Oh my god.
That would be easy in today's world. They could
Rise from the dead.
It's to your grave.
Yeah, rise from the grave. Yeah, there you go. Rise from the grave.
To your doom.
Yeah, right. Classic. How about Alter Beast, the movie? Or not Alter Beast, but Golden Axe.
Oh, I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
How about Alter Beast and Golden Axe in one movie? That'd be unbelievable.
Call it Golden Beast.
Golden Beast.
Golden Axe versus.
That is incredible, Jason.
Altered. How about Altered Axe?
Altered Axe. I like Golden Beast. That just sounds like a porn movie or something.
Have we all answered it? How about you, Barry?
No.
Oh, I was thinking really hard, trying to think. I think Perfect Dark would make a very good movie.
Oh, can I just say something too on that? She's flipping hot.
Exactly.
Holy moly. People always talk about Laura Croft and her boobies. Fuck that.
She's got like triangle boobies, though, doesn't she?
Dude, who is the chick in Perfect Dark? What's her name?
Joanna.
Hell yeah.
Joanna.
Seriously, go look at that on Xbox. Go look at her.
I mean, I'm surprised they haven't ran with
John is looking over there.
He's looking with
chairs
his
going
wiener.
on again over there.
Oh, sorry. What's going on? I was just thinking about her. Sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry about the guys.
Looking sharp.
He's looking for hentai right there. Yeah, but I gotta say, I think if they could make any movie, a Final Fantasy movie, a CGI Final Fantasy movie would be
They have
unbelievable.
that.
What? You're kidding me? They made
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah, it's called Hentai Fantasy.
What?
No, you're serious.
No,
I'm serious.
I would like one with like some like spirits, like something spirits inside of a person kind of thing. Like that would be cool.
No, but like they have a Final Fantasy movie though.
What?
Yeah, you haven't seen that one? It was pretty good. It was all CGI too.
It's all CGI. Yeah.
Well, what about if they did like a Mortal Kombat movie, a live action one? That'd be kind of cool. I'd like.
Okay, now he's being facetious.
Of course I am. I know they made a Final Fantasy movie. I'm just being fun. But I don't know. Like, oh Jesus! I'd like to see. I'll be stupid. I'll be stereotypical and say Ease, a live action. I'd like to see Adol coming to the land of Ease and saving the land of Ease. We don't have enough good medieval movies anymore. We got like Lord of the Rings, and that's about it. So
Yeah.
that'd be cool. I'd love to see that. So
Be cool.
is it?
How about a Fantasy Star?
I was gonna say that, but that's even more stereotypical for me, so I decided to stay away from that. Hey, fuck you, you son of a bitch. Let's have a look at the questions here. One question from Jeremy Dalson. Has Jason ate any poutine yet? That is the actual question. And I can answer that for Jason. The answer is no. Thank you. Our next question is...
I have a good question here.
Okay, go for it.
It's from Jake McClanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's his name. He asks, favorite fighting game or series that is not Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Marvel vs. Capcom, or Killer Instinct?
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll have to say...
What are you going to say?
Just off the top of my head, I mean, I could probably think of a better one if I had some thought for this, but I'm going to
Don't say Clay Fighters.
Clay Fighters.
Besides Smash Brothers, because some people wouldn't even classify that as a fighting game, I'm going to say Blaze Blue on the 360.
Really?
What about you, Johnny?
I'd have to say I'm gonna be really obscure here. I'm just gonna do this just for the fun of it. I'm gonna say Flash Hiders on the PC Engine. Love that game. Great soundtrack to that game. That's an excellent game. Back in the, I'm just saying that to be obscure. I never liked Blaze Blue. I'm not a huge fan of it.
I loved it.
Or Guilty Gear. I never got into that either. I can appreciate the graphics are amazing, but I just don't really care for it. What about you, Gamester81?
Question is what again? It's what's your favorite fighting game besides Street Fighter?
I'm Mortal Kombat and yeah.
Oh, besides those main ones?
The main ones, yeah.
Okay, Primal Rage.
That's a good one. Actually,
I'd love to see a remake of Primal Rage. I would love to see a remake of that. It's really great.
But that was big during the dinosaur movies, right? You know what I mean? Like in this park, all that. That's why I kind of think.
Yeah.
Barry has quite a big collection of memorabilia for that, don't you?
Oh, they have the Primal Rage, yeah, and I haven't seen any. I looked across that stuff actually, and like they're that board game, and I never seen any of that for sale on eBay or anywhere else. So it seems like it's kind of rare to me because I've never seen any other Primal Rage stuff. And that banner, I got that from an arcade distributor.
What would you say is your favorite fighting game, Barry, besides all the mainstays?
I know y'all. When he said Primal Rage, that got me stuck because I was thinking of that one, but I'm drawing a total blank. I can't think of anything else. I was just going to be facetious, say, heck, boxing on Intellivision. But those are the most mainstream games I played. I'm really drawing a blank. Can't think of anything else.
Do you guys remember that fighting game? Like your character's made up of balls, and I'm not talking about human balls.
Yep, balls. BALLZ.
It's called balls.
It's just called balls, eh? Not the Human Balls Extra Edition, right?
I have the director's cut on 3DO, which is nowhere near as good as the Genesis version. But the Genesis version, I remember begging my parents to buy that for me.
Please, I want some
$80.
balls.
It was super expensive, and then I finally got it, and I actually really loved that game back then.
Please buy me some balls.
Please, I love balls, Mom. I love balls. More balls. I could go on. It's too easy.
Have you ever played Kasumi Ninja for the Jaguar?
It's
you ever played that?
Lord.
Oh my God.
Terrible. I have the headband that came with it and everything.
Yeah.
Hey, what was the game that was out in the 3DO with the goddamn Scotsman?
Warrior.
What is it?
Wait, I'm looking up there right now.
The Scotsman, that's Kasumi Ninja.
What is it when he pulls up and he shoots the fireball from
yeah, that's it. Jaguar, yeah.
Oh, fuck, I remember that. Yeah.
No, that's the one on 3DO. Wait, I'm getting them all confused now.
I remember Ed, Retro Gamer 3, did a review on it a long time ago.
Yeah. Yes, Way of the Warrior on 3DO.
Way of the Warrior.
Yeah.
How about you, Jason?
Oh, you guys, it just hit me. I'm sitting here panicking, sweating, not knowing what the hell I'm going to say.
That's why we left you until last.
Thank you, but it just hit me. Super Smash Brothers. Fuck you all.
In the distance, a dog barks.
What the fuck?
Jason,
these are great fighting games, you guys. Go eat shit.
Jason.
Go eat shit.
Jason, I just looked out on my street, and there's a tumbleweed coming down the fucking...
What is that game? Not you guys don't like that game or what?
No, I love that. I actually was gonna say that, but I'm like, I'll skip over it.
Yeah.
No, but that would have been my definite pick for sure.
No,
if I would have
love that one.
No, guys, I hate to be a hater of Smash Brothers, but I remember me and Rob rented it when it first came out, the original, and we fucking hated it. We're like, man,
I was blown away.
I didn't drink the Kool-Aid, man. I'm not on board with that game. To be honest with you, it's okay.
It's such a huge following, and I love the fan service. I always buy the games. Don't get me wrong. I buy the fan service, but I don't like them. I'm not a fan.
Can I just say something about fighting games in general, though?
No, you can't.
You're not. I'm going to anyway. Typically, people don't like fighting games if they're not good at them.
Oh, give me a break. No.
Come on, it's true.
No.
If you go play a fighting game and get your ass whooped every time,
You get pissed off and quit.
you're not going to want to keep playing. You get pissed off and you get discouraged. You're not going to play it. Now, if you invest some time or you have a friend that can help teach you how to play, show you the moves, show you the combos, fatalities, whatever have you,
no,
and you get good at it, you get into it more.
You know why?
I guarantee you, John.
Why that's not true is because in my neighborhood, I sucked at balls, but I still love them.
Well,
no, I just thought of another one.
It's true. I sucked at balls. I really did. I sucked at balls every day, and I didn't care. I kept on playing with them. You know what I mean?
How about Eternal Champions for Genesis?
That's good too.
Yes, that's another one I forgot about.
How about Virtual Fighter? Is that on the you can't say list or
that's
what?
a good fighting game. I'll give you that. For sure.
Yeah.
No, I just thought of another one. Bloody Roar 2.
Oh my
no,
god! It's
sorry, sorry, not
Game
2.
today.
Bloody Roar 3 for the PlayStation 2.
Oh, wait.
John, I guarantee if you come over here and play some Smash Bros with me, I'll teach you how to play.
I like the fact they include all those characters. I like the crossover. I like that. It's a fun game. Believe me, I've played it. I have all the games like Johnny do, but I'm not into it. I'm just not into it.
Hold on a second. I just forgot about a series.
Is this like a minute thing or what?
The longest.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
It's got Power Stone 2. How the hell did I forget?
You know what? The thing is that was such an open question. There's hundreds of good fighting games.
Yeah,
I love the Rival series. I love
guys, how about Fatal Fury? Shit.
Fatal Fury. Every game on the Neo Geo.
How about some
Samurai Sandwich? Yeah, Samurai
King of Fighters. Absolutely. Oh, tons.
Speaking of Neo Geo, were any of y'all rich enough to buy that back in 90 or 91 when it was a $1,200 or $1,500 and $300 cartridges?
I got a couple of years later used in the buy and sell. That's where I got mine from. I spent $250 and I got my Neo Geo and a copy of Art of Fighting 2. Brought it home. I was crying. I swear it was amazing. You know what I mean? Back then? Oh
God, yeah. But basically, it was arcade hardware and arcade boards and those giant VHS size cartridges.
Yeah, it's still is one of my favorite systems. I have the MVS, the AES, the CD. It's even the Pocket. It's a great system. So
totally.
Do we have another question? Or did we all ask a question?
Here's another.
Anyone else? That's it.
Here's another decent question that's actually quite different. Might have to reword it, but Chase Scott asks, what is the best environment / background in a video game? So if we want to reword that, I'm going to say, what is your favorite theme and in a level design kind of thing? Interesting question, huh?
I'm gonna still Pete's answer. Shadow of Colossus.
Yeah, I'm going to say Shadow of the Colossus too.
I really like Shadow of Colossus.
And Barry really likes Shadow of the Colossus too, you were saying. Isn't that right, Barry?
Oh, sure. I'll go along with the...
I'm going to say I love the design of the levels in Rez. So that's my answer.
Yeah. Change it up.
I like the water level in Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yes. Are you kidding? The water level in Mario 64. I have the soundtrack. The music is so.
The music for that, isn't it awesome? I love that. That music reminds me of that time.
The only thing that makes me mad about the music on the soundtrack, it's not right. In other words, if you want to hear the music correctly, you have to whip out the 64 because the music, they call it Dire Docks on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But when you're outside the water, you have different music and it's more subtle. But when you get into the water, it gets more dreamy and deep.
Interesting. That's a very interesting thing because I obviously played the game years ago and then I bought the soundtrack, and that's all I ever listened to since.
Right.
So.
But well, trust me, take it out and go straight to the first room with the pirate ship and the painting. Jump right in, walk around outside and then get into the water and see how much more better it sounds. I wish that would have.
Good idea. Like that.
I remember specifically playing Mario 64 and just swimming around for hours, just being blown away by the graphics and just diving and finding the coins and just that pirate ship. Oh man!
Well, I have to say, if y'all were going to go into what's your most favorite game for 64, I'd have to say Mario 64, hands down.
It's up there for sure. It's up there
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. High moment. Definitely.
Right. And now it's the time of the podcast for Love Talk with Dr. Love, Johnny Millennium. How you doing, Johnny?
Oh, I'm great as usual, Mr. Gamester 81.
This question is from Snake Forever, and his question is: what has the worst, most violent situation you have ever experienced when fighting or breaking up with a chick? I.e., in my case, almost getting pushed down the stairs. Johnny, to you.
Oh. I love this question, and I gotta say, I love this guy's name. Perfect for a love talk question. Snake Forever. Yes! Isn't that not perfect? I love that. So, I guess the question, what he's saying, I'm translating for John here. What was the worst, most violent situation you have ever experienced when fighting or having a breakup with a girl? And the guy said that he almost got pushed down the stairs by this girl. Who knows what he did that night? Who knows what he did? Maybe he tried to stick it in her pooper or something. You know what I mean? She wasn't up for that, so she sent him downtown. You know what I'm saying? So
Give him
So
the showgirls treatment.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually have an interesting story, and you guys will be like cringing about this, and I'm gonna say the story anyways. I think when I was about 9, actually I was 19. I didn't have my license back then, and I was going out with this girl for about 2 years, and she was a drop dead. Actually, if anybody on my Facebook sees, there's a picture of me and her in my games room back then. She's the blonde or whatever. And she's a great looking girl, fantastic. And so anyways, me and her have been going out for a couple of years, and great relationship and all that, but I was a very bad guy back then. You know, I've become a very nice guy over the years, but you have to understand at this time I was a very bad guy. And so I went to a party at my friend's place and got super, super wasted, and that never helps, you know? Anyways, I didn't bring the girlfriend that night, and I was there, you know, just on my own kind of thing. And anyways, I get together with another girl there. And this girl's name was actually Beth, which is really funny. Not a fatty. You might think she is, that name Beth, but she was not. She was actually she's a good-looking mod, or like, if you want to call them goth chick.
I gotta interject real quick. So
Yes.
you mean get together? You mean like kiss, make out? You mean like
Yeah, the
is it
whole
dirty or
making
what?
out and, you know, like doing the grabbing and the feeling and the bipping and the bopping, you know,
Okay.
all that kinds of stuff. So
Sure.
it was kind of fun. I was having a good time. I won't lie. It was worth it. I had a great time, you know? And so anyways, I didn't have a lift home. So I get this Beth girl to give me a lift home. So we pull up. At the time, I was in my parents' house. You know, I lived in my parents' basement, obviously. 19 years old. And we pull up to the house. And I remember it was very late at night. And me and her, this girl, are making it. I mean, like majorly getting it on in the car. And it was awesome. The windows are like fully steamed up. It's a great time. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a knock on the window.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot, right? Because I'm like, oh, who's that? I wind down the window really fast, like, oh, to see who it is? Boom, 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 boom. I just start getting smoked in the face by my girlfriend at the time.
Oh, like she's hitting you in the face?
Just punched him right in the face. What the fuck? What the fuck? Just getting, I'm like, holy shit. And so I open the door, and she's just like wailing on me. And she's getting me in a headlock, and I'm kind of letting her. Like, what am I going to do? You know, I've caught like red-handed. No pun intended. So, you know, funny, okay, here's the stupid thing. This is how stupidly young and drunk I was that night that I forgot that I told her to meet me in my house. So she came over to meet me, sees his car there, sees her boyfriend getting it on with his girl in the car, knocks on the window and just starts wailing on me. And you know what? That night I deserved it. I had it coming. And quite an entertaining story. We actually broke up, go figure. But we got back together like a week later. So, you know what? It was worth it. Pretty well. It was pretty well worth it. So I think that was the most violent thing that ever happened to me, and I totally deserved it. So it was totally justified. And yeah, but that's the stupid stuff you do when you're younger, and you're not really thinking, right? And you know, back then you're not really in a committed relationship when you're 19. Like, well, some people are, right? Some people know, but I knew I was kind of like having fun, and my life was going to change over the bunch of years, and I'd meet different people. But yeah, I look back now, and it's kind of a funny story to me. So, good times. I got lots of stupid stories like that, actually. But so any of you guys had a story like Pete? Have you ever been physically attacked by a woman?
No.
Really?
Nope.
What if you're in a store and there's a hand-signed copy of Eco in there, and some girl grabs it before you? Would you beat her up? She's like,
Possibly.
fuck you, Peter, and you had it just before her.
He's got to think about this. He's got to think about
it.
He's got to think of. So he's like the thinking man.
No,
Standing
I already have a hand-signed copy of Shadow of the Colossus, so I think I'd be okay.
That girl was saved that day. Any of you guys had anything similar? No, I know I'm the only one. I know.
No, I've never been beaten up by some chick. I've walked in on like an ex-girl like cheating on me before with like one of my friends. That was fucked up.
Jeez, that's nasty.
And I'm not a violent person.
But definitely there's things go through your mind, and I had to kick his ass, but I would never really physically hurt a chick no matter what, you know what I'm saying? But needless to say, I never talked to her again, it was over and said, done with, goodbye, so, but yeah, it's nothing too major. So
Jason, no.
I'm the king of making the breakups very easy and painless and mutual.
You seem so. You're like,
you text message.
Time to break up. I can imagine.
I know how to do it.
So
It's always mutual. It's great. Everything's happy.
It's not you. It's not you. It's me.
You gotta remember, I'm an artist over here. I know how to say it.
You write a song. You whip out a song.
Dude, songs
like,
cure everything.
Baby girl, I wrote you a song about you. Let's break up. Let's break up.
Break up. It's
Like,
all over.
the song is so good, but what are we doing?
Yeah.
But no, I've never been assaulted by a woman before. No, never.
I don't think have I ever been assaulted.
Other than getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
I've been slapped before, but never
I've been slapped, just not in the face.
Not on the other cheek, huh?
Down.
That's another love talk automatically. Jesus. So, anyways, I hope that answers your question. Snake for life. Thank you for the question, and keep asking questions in the All Gen Gamers forums, in the Love Talks section. The more we're discussing, the more twisted, the more weirder, the more honest. Just ask them. I'll answer them.
I will continue reading them verbatim, so it makes me sound stupid. Thank you.
And today,
All right.
bar to bar.
Bar to bar.
Bar to bar. Bar to bar. Okay, so hey guys, real quick before I get into to Gaming Peace Theater, I want to give some quick thank yous. Can I do that real quick? Because remember last episode I promised for those people who posted on Jason's wall, I would mention their name. So I'm going to call them out real quick, if I can do that.
Bullshit.
I want to say a big thank you to all of my followers, my poutine men, my guys here, hooking spam in Jason's wallpaper. So Alex Holmes, we're gonna start with Alex. Thank you. We got a couple Alex. We got Alex Ryder as well, Alex Malie, Ariel Rosado, Eric Martin Gallant, Daniel Valencia, David Pacheco, DJ Robichard, Gus Archetta, James Van Verst, Jeremy Robach, Justin Boosie Carlino.
Boosie.
Corey, these people have really fucked up names.
Bar to bar.
Simuler, Lukeman Ahmed, Michael Burney, Mike Mort, Nick Kincaid, Robman. Dude, you guys see Robman with his pick kid? You see that video? Adorable. Do you guys see that one? Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Oh, there you go.
That's Robman's kid. Isn't that adorable? My heart melted for sure. And last but not least, Trevor Gobel. Thank you so much, guys, for spamming Jason's wallpaper.
Pronounced Gobelli.
There's no E or I at the end. Gobel.
Yeah, that's all. Every single person there had a picture of some fucking
poutine they shoved right in your face.
It was BS. It looked amazing.
Awesome. It looked amazing. There's some pictures of one guy had a freaking poutine shoved in his face. What was the other one?
Poutine
had
pizza.
Poutine pizza. Oh my gosh.
I feel like my arteries are clogging already.
Good stuff. I wanted to fulfill a promise, so I made a promise last episode, so there it is.
Welcome to another episode of Gaming Peace Theater with Gamester81. Gamester, what piece of gaming history are you going to share with us today?
Now, Vintage Video Game Geek actually requested that I talk about Tiger electronic handhelds. You guys are aware of these and familiar with these, are you not?
I'm sure.
Nice. Little Tiger. Play that one more time. That was nice. Little Tiger electronics. So I'll tell you what I do know about these things. Started in 1978, Tiger Electronics. They started making LCD handhelds. Nintendo was the first to do it. They kind of, were influenced by Nintendo with the Game & Watches. And they kind of started off as generic. They had bowling and they had, golf and a whole bunch. But then they got really great license for these. And by the time late 80s hit around 90s, we had some great licensed games. We had Sonic the Hedgehog was one, Pete. I'm sure you've played before. Yep. Barry, have you played the Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've got all of them.
You have all. Okay, awesome. These games were looking back on it, they're very dated. They're LCD quality. The sound is awful. Usually it's a D-pad, maybe a couple buttons. It's black
Fixed
and white.
graphics.
Yeah, fixed graphics. They're just terrible. But they had like NBA Jam. They had what other? I mean, they had Aladdin. And some of the things they had licensed for. They had Star Wars, Star Trek. You name it, anything major movie, Mortal Kombat. They had Street Fighter 2. They had that. It was amazing. Some license they had. They had even the game. They had the watches. Like Nintendo had the watches too. But these, I remember I had a watch that was really cool. I forget which one it was though. But it was really neat. I think it was a Simpsons watch that I had by Tiger, and you could play like Bart Simpson and stuff on your watch. It was really cool. So really cool concept by mid 90s. You know, this is competing against the Game Boy.
I was about to bring that up. Is what I did not understand is why in the world they were bringing out these fixed graphics with hardly any gameplay games when the Game Boy had the original Game Boy blew it away completely.
Yeah, so I guess the reason being is because they're cost effective and cheap, and I think people were hoping to buy it based on the name of the theme behind it.
Right.
Yeah, they connected with Sonic. Oh, Sonic, that's cool. I'm gonna get it. So by the 90s, late 90s. 98, Tiger Electronics was sold to Hasbro. Hasbro now oversees Tiger. But Tiger made other things other than the handhelds. They made, remember the Skip It? You guys remember that? That thing you put around your side, you skip around. They made the Furby, which was a very popular toy in the late 90s. They made a whole bunch of cool different toys outside of the handhelds. But I think they're most famous for the handheld. They obviously made like the Gamecom, which was a handheld that was later one of the first handhelds they made with interchangeable games, and it was terrible. I know, Pete, you have a Gamecom, don't you?
Yeah.
It was bad. And then they also had the R-Zone, which is another thing that they were supposed to kind of off the waves popular of the virtual reality or the Virtual Boy. It was terrible. But they had some amazing. They had Virtual Fighter for that, and they had some amazing. I know on the Gamecom they had. I think they had Duke Nukem for that. I mean, it was like amazing. Some of the licenses they had for.
They had a Sonic title too.
They had a Sonic title too. Absolutely, they had a Mortal Kombat and stuff. So it was amazing. Whoever did the licensing did an awesome job for Tiger. Unfortunately, it was executed terribly. So that is Gaming Piece Theater. Please continue post questions. I'll get to them. Beautiful.
Well, thanks for being here, Barry. It's been a blast, man.
Not a
good
problem.
Conversation. Good times.
It was awesome. This was a great episode. Appreciate your time. It was amazing to hear your stories.
Thank you for inviting me on.
Where can people find you?
My YouTube channel, send emails through there. I have a Facebook, but you know how those go. You have to, invites and all that mess. The easiest way to send questions or anything like this, you can send them through my YouTube channel, Yesterday's 92 on YouTube. And that's where all my videos are at. I'm going to see about making a new video soon, a little bit more in HD, a little bit better pictures. Like I said, I had to remove my other ones because it had, copyright because of the music. But I'm going to see about making some new ones out there.
I'm sure we'll do a little viewing session once again.
I just remember that night when we checked out the video. It was just like, oh my god, oh my god, look at that room. It's a magical room you have there. It really is something.
I think it's official. You know how everyone says that they have a man cave, and they ain't got shit on this.
Yeah,
that's like
Barry created the man cave.
Yeah.
I think if you were to take all our collections